We're still looking for people. Go away. Get out of here.
Craig does what he wants. He doesn't have to listen to you.
Craig's
just a little bear with a microphone, just trying to make his way in the world.
You, Craig. You, Craig. Craig, eat a baguette. You, Craig, eat a baguette. You, Craig. You, Craig.
You know that just becomes some sort of bleeped song that's going on the EP, right? You're just doing this to yourself.
No, but I mean, it's just like, first of all, he can't use that because it's got too many curse words. Second of all, he just said, hey, I have extremely limited time to edit this week. So he's just going to cut out that entire chunk. He's not even going to try to edit it. Yeah, I know the limitations of my editor.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have time to edit it later in life. He keeps these recordings around. He's going to bring them to you when you least expect it. You're never going to remember that song existed.
That is accurate.
78 raw recordings of the Two Titans and a Hunter story.
Right. That's going to be my memoirs. The title, I mean.
No, that'll be the entire memoir. That's it. Full stop. Big coffee table book, a title, and that's it. Just blank pages. Hundreds of blank pages.
All right, welcome to Two Hunters and a Titan. You're a hunter main, right?
Yes.
I've always been a hunter. Okay, good. Welcome back to Two Hunters and a Titan, a Destiny 2 podcast where we talk about tips, tricks, and other asinine things that I can come up with. What makes us different? Me and Parody and sometimes Night Demon. And we also don't stream or YouTube, but that is also a lie because we do both of those things now. And I don't know what else he usually says, but this is the opening. So welcome to the show, everybody.
And we're back. You join us, your program currently in progress this week, where we have Ep.79 joining us from the realm of Hunterdom. We have our foreign correspondent, Blue Screen 42, Dredgen Lord and Master. And we have a secret British text-only participant this week. So we couldn't quite get Houndish on the show, but we have him in the chat. So we're getting closer people to giving you all the Houndish goodness you come to us for each and every week.
Less British dad and more British correspondent at this point in time.
British text.
He has Brexited the podcast, okay? That's what's happened. And we are actually not allowed to go see him because we can't leave our country. So, it is what it is. It's the best we can do.
Oh.
Well, you can't leave the country legally.
So welcome back to this ongoing train wreck. I finally got my Ruinous Effigy done this week. As Fusco said, good job, slacker.
Congratulations. I didn't even see that. Good job.
I finally got it done. I finally got through all the stupid steps, played all my gambit, got all my things. And now I can ruinously effigy with everyone else. And I was like, I decided to do my means to an end quest this week. And it was like, go do Menagerie or Crucible or Heroic Adventures. I'm sorry, I'm never doing a Heroic Adventure game, Bungie. You can't make me. So I was like, I'm going to step into survival freelance. Let's see how many games it takes. Took 4 games to get all the things I needed. I walked in with Syntheseps, and I'm like, I'm just going to punch things. Annoying Hunger and Syntheseps. I'm going to shoot you. When you get close, I'm just going to punch you. Nobody expects to be punched from halfway across the room. It was phenomenal. I wasn't playing it, this is the first time I've stepped in a competitive all season, so it's not like I have any rank or anything. So the first game I won, it was like, here's 1,000 rewards. Your valor's gone up. Your glory's gone up to, the first level. It was like, here's new guns and everything.
So basically you couldn't see what you were doing for a good 10 minutes?
Yeah, pretty much. Like after the first game, I just sat in orbit for a minute and waited for all the things. I couldn't even get back into survival freelance because I couldn't quite find where the thing was to hit because all the things kept popping up, of course, in order, all in there. I'm going to sit here for 10 seconds and just stay up on your screen, blocking the whole thing from you. Yeah, nobody expects the Syntheseps. It's stupid. It's real stupid. I shouldn't be able to get more kills by punching than I am with guns. Yet here we are.
Aside from your experiences in the Crucible using something unrelated to what I asked you, how did you like using the gun that you got, man?
Well, I've actually fired it this morning for the first time, doing the interference, the means to the end interference quest thing. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy, just trace rifling things because it's just an auto rifle with more sparklies. That's all it really is. And I can pick up a ball and just bludgeon people to death. So it combines my two greatest things. Not having to care about how many bullets I'm using, and then just beating something senseless.
Not even just a bludgeon, but the shield aspect is really OP. As a quick example, right? I've been getting my armor for my hunter from the not menagerie, the Gambit version of the menagerie.
Mm-hmm. Menagerie. Mm-hmm.
Ganagerie, yeah. But anyway, I've been doing that to get all the armor pieces because I love the way that they look on both my warlock and my hunter, right? Especially the invader ones that just look, they look badass. Come on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the first time I went in there, I got my butt kicked like pretty badly, and I was like, "What the f, man?" And I got aggravated, and I just put on the ruinous effigy because I wanted to use the shield, on the part where all the snipers are. But the whole first and second, and even the third encounter with the hammer slam guys, axe slam guys, it works amazing. And even on tier 3, where they got the 3 hammer guys that come up and try to just turn you into mincemeat or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I kill one ad, I hold the shield, and when they slam us, A, it doesn't do damage, and B, it doesn't knock everybody away. So I'm just holding a shield while my whole team is doing DPS, and we just nuke these guys. And it's like, what? It's so good for that game mode, honestly speaking. Especially for the bridge, especially for the third encounter. It is so good.
I'll have to try that out, because I've definitely, when the 3 knights are up as the Reckoning final boss, you can stand there with a Titan banner shield, and they just don't know what to do. They try to hit you and smash you, and you just stand there and go, no, I have a banner, like not even the bubble, just the banner shield. Just completely freaks them out. So I wonder if that's the same effect.
They'll attack you like normal, but the thing is their attacks are always those slams, and when you're inside the bubble, you don't get hurt by the slam, and you don't get knocked back. So they're still actively trying to kill us. They just can't.
Right. Yeah. Sitting with the banner shield, you can stand there just like the boss at the end of Menagerie that has the big deletion walls. You can stand there with the banner shield and just go, no, I don't care about you. I don't need you. You're not a friend of mine.
Now that you mention it, though, it should work the same way, right? Because the banner shield blocks and damages them at the same time, which is what the Ruinous Effigy Ball does. It blocks their damage and damages them at the same time. So I wonder why the behavior is so different for the banner shield than it is for the Effigy Ball.
Also, I didn't really realize you could block with the Effigy Ball, because I would never even think to try that, ever, in a million years.
It's less a block and more of a you take half damage, but for the stop mechanic, you take no damage, and I don't understand why that is. I'm happy about it. Please, Bungie, don't fix it. Please don't fix it. But you don't take damage from the stop mechanics when you. At least I haven't noticed, right? I mean, I've taken many a stomp and not died. So if it's taking a little chunk of health or maybe 1/4 as much damage, I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. All I see is I stand there. They stomp me. I don't move. They stomp me again. I still don't move. I'm still alive. They stomp me again. I'm still alive. I'm just not going anywhere, So I'm going to go out on a limb and say they don't do any damage because I haven't been paying attention.
Anyway.
Also, we're looking at This Week at Bungie if you want to follow along.
Great time to talk about next week in Destiny. We're going to take it in the cradle and get new information from Eris about her sweet, sweet love affairs with all the Titans. Ooh. We're going to stop the Hive ritual in the 17 song Nightfall ordeal. So that's going to suck.
All right. Where are you reading on the podcast? Oh, not the podcast. This Week at Bungie.
I'm not. I'm reading the notes I took on when I turned my Xbox on this morning.
Ah, fair enough. There you go.
Because we get a flashpoint this week. So even though we haven't played our game of where's the flashpoint going to be, because let's be honest, I never check anyway. Our flashpoint is going to be the Tangled Shore next week. So you'll have a reason to go visit Spider on the Tangled Shore, not just to get glimmer and materials, but to have it be the flashpoint. And Shax is going to bring Mayhem, because really that's all you need to know. Mayhem and Breakthrough to the Crucible. And since we do play this game every week, what is Breakthrough? Breakthrough is basically the modified version of Control. So 2 teams fight. You have A, B, and C on the map, just like Control. You each start at A and C. You fight to control point B. Whoever gets B then has to go take the other team's point. If you fail to capture B, you have to defend your basically home spawn point from the other team, and there's a time limit of something. So basically either break through and capture the other team's base, basically, or have them break through and they capture yours. This is where your warlocks and your bubble titans and angry shields really make this a lot easy. But it's not something you should go into with a team before randoms, because communication is absolutely key to breakthrough if you care at all. And if I'm talking to people who don't care, then you have to listen to me anyway, because I'm on the podcast and you're not. So that's what we're getting next week at Bungie.
Don't antagonize them. That's my job.
Yeah. I was just happy to see Mayhem back, because there's two things in Crucible I dearly, dearly love. Iron Banner being the first one, and Mayhem being the second. Because you can go in with any stupid trolley loadout you want to, and it just doesn't matter.
Do you also like the rocket ones?
I was really trying to love Team Scorched. But even this week, I saw it up and I said, I played Lockdown instead of Scorched for the couple of games I needed.
Really? You passed on Scorched?
I want to love Scorched, but it's just, I don't know, it's just not there. I think part of it is if I'm going to go into Crucible and, not just play my 4 games, I want to actually get the weapon bounties done or get some Crucible bounties done. And you can't do anything in Scorched because it's no, unless there's a, you give me a bounty for get 17, Scorched cannon kills, fine, that'll go do. But
solar rocket launcher, that counts, right? Solar kills, rocket launcher kills.
Maybe.
Well,
solar, yeah, definitely.
It's a cannon, not a rocket launcher. There's a big difference.
Oh, so not even rocket launcher kills?
Yeah, solar would definitely count. Rocket launcher, I've never paid enough attention to. Maybe they do. Don't know.
Sucks.
But even so, Mayhem, so much better than Team Scorched. Or Individual Scorched. Or Solo Scorched.
But even in Mayhem, what can you do aside from just supering all of the things? Actually, hey, in Mayhem, you didn't happen to use a weapon.
Who don't expect it.
You didn't happen to use a weapon that's got, my biscuits.
Vorpal weapon?
Yes, thank you, I
remember everything for some reason that you forget.
So, Vorpal weapon. Has anybody used Vorpal weapon inside of that game mode yet? Because I'd really love to know how it handles all the people in the supers.
I kind of feel like it likely doesn't matter because it's 6s. If there was like a 3v3 Mayhem, you might stand a chance. I imagine it handles about like the Sweet Business when you've got any sort of like or the Gnawing Hunger, and when you've got any sort of range to take somebody down before they get to you. Because if you've got the time to see that, say Hunter coming toward you with his swingy stick or Titan coming toward you with his Fist of Havoc, and you can actually put enough bullets into them, it works out pretty well. But yeah, I haven't tried anything Vorpal because I usually just go into there and going, I'm going to throw grenades and do what I want to do.
So first of all, you offended me a little bit. If you're going to make fun of hunters, at least do it correctly. It is not a swingy stick. It is a stripper pole. Okay?
Stripper pole, swingy stick. And it is what it is. I can't remember what it's called because I'm not a hunter. I just see them coming at me going, I'm speeding this. Look at me.
It is a stripper pole, dude. I mean, what else could it be? Come on.
Well, the hunters need to strip better because I have seen no leg, no nothing. I feel very, very, I just don't appreciate it. No, the ones I love the ones who don't figure out how to swing the little I'm going to block you with my stripper pole and just kind of like lunge at you. And you go, no, you're going to be dead by the time you get here. Just like the Fist of Havoc Titans. I'm like, no, you're going to be dead by the time you get here. I can put bullets into your face.
They're doing it wrong. What you got to do is you got to dodge in a zigzag pattern, man. Come on, just like a rhino, right? You never run in a straight line from a rhino. You never run in a straight line towards a Titan. You got to zigzag left and right. That's why you have the whole dodge with the stripper pole, right? Left, right, left, right, left, left. Trip them up, right, right. Trip them up again, left, right, dead. And that's it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this week of Bungie for the 23rd of July, 2020. Please open your hymnals to this week of Bungie for this week, where we drew a thin line between the light and the dark, and we filled it with ice. We drew the thin line, we put it in the freezer, we took it back out, and now everything's covered in ice and freezer burned. So what do you guys think about freezer burn subclasses?
Hunters can have throwable platforms or whatever class it is.
And walls! Hunters get freaking Titan walls! Let's go! Yes!
He said you can't shoot through them. Sometimes.
I don't care! But we get freaking walls and a dodge!
Hey, you want to know Hunter, Titans and Warlocks can't jump over it.
Oh, that's what you think, my friend.
The only way to do it is mountaintop launch yourself.
I like it. Ruinous Effigy steals health. I did not know that.
Yeah, so I assume you guys have watched this little reveal trailer thing. I'm gonna hope you watched this reveal trailer thing and saw the beautiful ice things. I'm guessing you did since you're screaming about it.
Yep. Oh yes. Oh yes.
So I'm very happy that Bungie has given themselves more time to bring this into the game, because they've put a whole new subclass in. It's going to break so many things, and now looking at this, I now understand why they wanted to take all the stuff out of all the extra planets and all the extra craft that's built up over the last 4 years. If you're bringing a whole new subclass into the game with platforming and everything else that was not in the game before, basically, it would have broken so many things. Cheese would have been in content for 1,000 years to come. Which is not to say it won't break some things, but at least the number of things it can break are now limited to a couple of planets.
Mm-hmm. And also there are backpacks too on the armors. On the armor, there's backpacks.
Can I use them to store more grenades?
You can use them to store the blueberries. I want about grenades.
No, I'm not interested in blueberries. I want more grenades. I want to throw all the grenades. I want to be throwing grenades right now from my backpack. I want a chain-fed backpack grenade launcher. That's what I need.
We need that in the game.
I don't want to say weird things, but that has got to be the sexiest thing I've ever heard you say.
Right? It's chain-fed grenade, backpack grenade launcher. What's not to love? Just fill it with bugs, load them into the colony, just shoot those things out there. I mean, come on. Hello. Dear Bungie, hire me to come up with guns. I can't make any of them, but it would be phenomenal.
You get me all hot and bothered now, man. I don't know what to do with this new info. Not info, but this new
idea
image that I have bouncing around in my head. Yeah. Woo-hoo.
It needs to be chain-fed explosive grenades.
Sticky explosive grenades. Anyway, what I was talking about before you distracted me so eloquently with that delicious image. The thing that I really don't like that I've seen is the new Titan Super, where you slam the ground and it not only makes the ice pillars but chases people down to kill them. I am very not okay with that. It's like the fire pillar but worse, because it tracks multiple guardians. Did you see that?
And then it will freeze them.
Yeah.
Worse or better?
Worse.
Both.
No, worse.
Yeah, PvP is going to be a whole, which, watching this trailer, I wasn't even thinking about the PvP ramifications of all this. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be real filthy. You want to go capture that zone? I'm going to build an ice wall around the zone. You can't come in. I live here now and you don't.
I wonder if the walls, if they would take damage from weapons, and solar has like increased damage against it, if it's supposed to be ice or just like pure darkness.
But the question you're not asking that you really should be asking, and I'm disappointed in both of you for not yet asking it.
I'm sending invites to people so they can do things. What do you want? What's the question?
Do you want to build a snowman?
I do what?
If the Frozen Clan isn't in the game building snowmen out of ice, I don't know what we're even doing here.
Yeah, no, I'm all about building snowmen. I'm wondering where that's coming from.
Because you can make ice walls and ice structures. And
see.
If one of them can't be a giant snowman, or have an emote where you make a giant snowman and then destroy it, why? Why are we here? No, but in all seriousness, I'm super excited for all of the new ice themed. We got the freeze tag emote. I'm really curious about all of the new ice themed emotes and things we're going to get with this, because I think we're the Frozen Clan. That's what we're here for. We're here for the ice, if nothing else.
Well, we got to have an actual snowman emote. Like you're building an actual snowman, right?
There's a snowman transmat effect already.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about a transmat effect.
I know you're not. It's obviously you're not talking
either
about
an emote or a consumable item that will make us that will allow us to create a snowman that just kind of stays there, like a distraction kind of thing, right? Like you have a consumable, you can throw it like a grenade, and where it lands, a snowman pops up and it distracts enemies.
Oh. Just like the thing in Halo where you could send out the decoy of yourself and have it run through. Oh, I want that. I want that snowman form.
Right?
or have Eververse armor where you're just a snowman.
That would be phenomenal.
Just a snowman, and on your chest you have the emblem of what class you are.
I'm in. Perfect. Just give me a little nose on my armor, because nothing can look more absurd than the armor we have now.
You say a symbol on the chest, but how funny would it be to see a snowman running around with a hunter cloak, just a cloak?
I was thinking about that.
A cloak, Titan butt cape, or a little warlock bond around the little stick arm.
Yeah.
And they don't have feet. Their feet are just a little ball that waddles back and forth as they run.
Or they're their feet are just balls, and you roll.
Would the warlock need to have one beefy arm to have the cloak, the bond work, or no?
No, just a little tiny little stick arm, and the bond is just kind of hovering over the arm, like awkwardly. You know what I mean? Oh God. That would be amazing. Yo, if they put that in Eververse, that would fund Bungie for the next year. I promise you it will.
Hello and welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter. I'm back. So you guys were you discussing the trailer that happened this week?
Yes.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. That's how we got on the whole snowman rant.
Ah.
Yeah.
Trailer
talking about how hunters get not only the hunter dodge, but also a Titan wall now. So that's awesome.
So did you tell the lovely people that there was a trailer that was released this week with the Xbox Showcase that showed
we haven't
us some
gotten
more
there yet.
Information about what's going to be happening?
That's on the other tab. That's
TWAB.
on the tab next to the TWAB.
No, that's on the TWAB.
It came before the TWAB.
And after that is the cookbook, and after that is the community focus about.
I think we should discuss. I think we should discuss the trailer. I think we should discuss what's happening with Xbox, what's happening with the trailer, and go from there. Don't you?
We were gonna. That's all here. We've got tabs and stuff. Okay, I have tabs open. Tabs are a thing. We're not doing it on his schedule and his pace.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here. I'm here to help move the podcast along in an orderly fashion, get the information out there to people in a less rambled way than has been for the last couple of weeks that I've been away.
Well, I mean, I've enjoyed it the last couple of weeks.
Yes, exactly. That's the reason I'm back to help.
No enjoyment.
He's been left to your devices, which haven't helped.
Look, first of all, let's get this straight. It's not my devices. He and Blue Screen have been pushing buttons, right? I'm not just sitting here taking up space. They are purposely enabling me. All right.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so let's get that straight.
Let's enable you even further, and let's talk about this trailer that hit with the Xbox Showcase this week.
Yes, that's what we were doing in our way.
Okay. So it showed off some really interesting abilities with the new stasis, didn't it? There was hunters throwing out grenades that then created an ice wall. There was hunters that threw out grenades that, threw out the steps that they could then jump on to get even higher. Which
you realize that's the same grenade, right?
Yeah, but it looks very interesting. And my first thought that went through my head was Froggy, Squirrellock Holmes, and JB3 are going to have a field day with that thing, getting out of the map and doing various different things.
I was thinking the same thing, actually.
Different areas. It's like they've put that in the game. These guys are just going to go to town, and we're going to have so many ridiculous places because of all the places you can get to now with all the different things you can do. And now they're giving you an extra ability to throw somewhere to get even further in to different places, which I found quite interesting
too.
Yeah, unless it's something like in there's various different games where you have to press A to climb up a specific part of the wall. Maybe there's only specific places you can actually throw that onto, but then that leaves PvP areas open, doesn't it?
Well, not just that, but how much
can you throw
extra
it onto a
programming
wall?
it would take for them to say, yes, it'll stick here. No, it won't stick there.
And there would have
I think it'll stick to whatever surface you stick it to.
And there'd have to be some sort of system to make sure that you can, to show people where they can go.
Blue in the chat's question: do we think that they will stack? So multiple hunters throwing these things out could create literally steps going up somewhere. So you could just see teams of 6 hunters in the raid bypassing certain areas, going right. We're just going to go past this bit, and we'll meet you around the other side. Yeah.
I'm out of here.
You're thinking PvP. I was thinking PvE. Like there's a lane that you just completely shut down. You make
PVM.
A literal wall.
Player versus map. I was thinking this was the only thing that went through my head as soon as I saw that. I was like, PVM. That's it. It's just. But seriously, they needed to have got these guys in to test that. Unless there is restrictions on where you can place those grenades.
Now, can you? Here's my thing. If you put a hunter wall, can you throw the grenade at that hunter wall and it will spawn another wall off that wall? Because if it can, you can literally box people in an area.
I wonder what happens if you throw the grenade on someone, if they just get trapped in their own little space. Like
no, if when you watch the trailer, there's a part in Widow's Court, was it? Yeah, it's Widow's Court on the PvP map where the hunter throws down his grenade, and as he does, he throws it at his feet, and he literally launches himself up as the wall comes up as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what you can actually do with this. You can boot other players up off the floor. So you can just imagine throwing that onto a point and then just flicking all 6 other members of the opposite team up in the air, and they're just like, "Oh, look,
duck hunt
time, duck hunt." Yeah,
and
can you yeet bosses back off the map again? Between this and the boop cannon, I want to yeet all the things.
Ooh, Vault of Glass, throwing that and booping Atheon off the edge again.
Oh, nice. I was thinking just now, right? So you were talking about how it's like a Titan wall. I think it's in some ways better and worse than a Titan wall. I say better because unlike a Titan wall, you can pass through it. You'll take damage, but you can pass through. This, it looks like it's an impassable object. So, for example, like some of these maps where like you have to capture a point and the point is inside of a room, you can completely block all the doorways and capture that point if you have 3 hunters, right?
Yeah.
So it's oof.
And you will, because it's Crucible.
I was going to say, sorry for anybody that didn't understand that reference. Atheon was the boss in the first raid that we had on Venus, which was the Vault of Glass. He was the last boss, and at a certain point, I think it was in year 1, you could be a warlock and throw out the solar grenades, and it would actually, you could trigger it so that you could just constantly throw out the solar grenades like you can do with the sun braces at the moment. And he would, to dodge those, he would kind of literally throw himself off the map, and you could solo that boss for a certain period of time. And then they put little baby bumpers, invisible baby bumpers on so that you couldn't do that. But then other people found other ways. But I'm sure there's going to be other ways when that raid comes back that people will find to do different things. It's quite interesting.
I don't know why I just realized this, but the wall sounds like what the Scions do. The Cabal Scions, they just chuck you in the air.
Yeah.
Except it's a wall that shoots you up. Then it's using the same mechanic.
Same mechanic, different visible. Just like when Respawn said the Titan ice shield or the ice wall thing made him think of the fire. Same underlying code. Fire instead of ice.
Yeah. And I think it's quite interesting that we don't actually know what's actually an ability or what's actually a super at this point in time. Various different things could be supers, various different things could just be abilities, and speculate at what they could be. I mean, you've got the hunters with their ice picks throwing out and creating a huge explosion situation, a charged up throwing knife.
And the warlock with their literal wand. Have you seen that? Yeah, they are 100% Gandalf now. And I'm thinking that that's a melee.
That could possibly, that could possibly.
He shot it and it disappeared.
But the problem is with the melee on it, you've got to form the staff, which is going to take how many milliseconds to form the
Right.
staff, and then you've got to point it and shoot it at somebody. So I'm thinking that's more of a super than it is a punching ability.
Is it though?
But,
Think of
you
how
know.
long it takes for the hunter's throwing knife to aim and then fire. The one that supposedly one shots, right?
Possibly,
Look at the thumbnail. The warlocks are the one that staff. Hunters have the ice picks, and Titans are just covered in ice. So it looks like that is going to be their super.
Possibly then. Did you catch the hunter throwing stars instead of
Yes,
throwing
the
knives?
three of them that froze people on contact. Yes, you believe
Froze
I
a
saw
Titan
that?
and a Warlock in their stasis supers.
Which, by the way, will be immediately nerfed once Bungie realizes that they gave hunters something we can actually use.
And I know it sounds boring talking about a trailer that you, unless you've actually seen, you don't actually know what we're talking about. So we will link it in the show notes for you to actually look at, because it was part, as I said, it was part of the Xbox showcase, and then Xbox went on to explain various other different things afterwards, which we'll get onto. And then afterwards, then Bungie released it as a standalone trailer for Beyond Light going further, which then hyped the community up even further. But I suppose the big, or the elephant in the room is the Xbox announcement, wasn't it, guys?
I mean, for you it was. I already own it, so it doesn't mean anything to me.
So Xbox, if you didn't know, have got an unlimited Game Pass, and what this actually means is that you can get, there's over 100 games that you can just download and play, and Xbox cycle these games in and out of what's available on the Game Pass, unless it's actually.
But you have to let
Xbox.
them know when you download it, you get to keep it for as long as you have the Game Pass. That's the other caveat to it. It's not just, it's free for this week and then it's gone. No, it's free for you to download this week, but you keep it forever as long as you have
until they remove it.
No, you get to keep it either unless Xbox remove it from the unlimited, which they regularly cycle them out. I get an email every now and then or a pop-up saying this is coming away from Game Pass. If you want to keep it, you can buy it at a reduced price and things like that. So Bungie have actually partnered with Xbox, and you can, from September, play Destiny 2 with all the expansions up to Shadowkeep for free on the Xbox Game Pass Unlimited. This hopefully should be for 6 months to a year, because I'm only guessing probably a year maximum at the moment, probably tentatively that they might renew it after the year. Depends. I mean, they've done several deals with PlayStations over the years. Last year we had the big announcement with Stadia, which was probably for a year exclusivity with, dealing with them. And partnering with Microsoft is really huge, because if you think about it, you don't necessarily need to buy the new expansion, because what they've announced with that is the new expansion coming in November will also be part of the Game Pass Unlimited subscription. So for Unlimited, you pay, I think it's is it $15 a month for you guys?
Yeah, I believe that is.
Because I continue to pay for it when they do their pay $1 if I get it for practically ever.
Well, you think about it, you pay $15 a month, you get gold subscription, you get access to over 100 games, including all the first-party games from Microsoft, and that's from all 15 of their new studios that they've acquired or partnered with, which means that you've got access to Halo, Halo Infinite, day one, day release, Gears 5, that was as well.
Wait, what? That's going to be a part of the Game Pass day one?
Most likely.
Yes. Or did you not know this?
I didn't know that.
All Xbox first-party games come to Game Pass day one, exclusive to Unlimited or to Game Pass and Unlimited. You can play. You don't have to purchase them. That's why it's such a really good deal.
Yeah, it's a good deal for us, but I'm thinking about game devs though, right? They're getting $15 per game instead of the $60 that they would be getting otherwise.
It's
a subscription It's a subscription service.
The devs are getting paid on the back end. The devs are getting a pile of money for being part of this huge subscription package in addition to selling the games. You can still go out and buy these games. It's not like you can't go out and buy Halo or buy Gears of War. You can still go to a store and buy them or buy them online or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just if you're in the subscription, you can just pay for that forever and get access to those 100 games plus whatever they cycle in and out.
That makes sense.
I mean,
that makes sense.
This is really good. I mean, my son's really excited about it. At the moment, he's playing like the free version of Destiny 2. So he's got access up to, I think, Forsaken and a few extra little bits. But come September, he'll have access to anything that was in Shadowkeep and the raids and anything else that was kind of exclusive for the last year, apart from season pass stuff that's cycled in and out. But then come November, he will have access to Beyond Light stuff up to the point of season pass stuff, which unfortunately you will have to purchase separately. But if you think about it, I think it's like, is it $10 each, or not even $10 per season pass thing? Then there's 4 parts to each season.
But how does that
seasons?
How does that translate with the whole game share now? So if I get it on the Xbox, right? Because I've already pre-purchased it on PCs, so I'm going to be getting it for free on the Xbox. But let's say, for example, I didn't purchase it on PC. I get it on Xbox, and then I turn on the PC. Does that all that DLC and all that free stuff that I get on Xbox transfer over to my save file on the PC?
I don't know. Because
where does those saves live? Are those saves, if they live in the cloud, like, the cloud save thing, it should all transfer. If it saves locally on your PC somewhere, then likely not, because the Xbox doesn't know about it.
If for say instance there was something on the season pass that you could only access on the season pass, like it was an exotic weapon quest, you would only be able to access that on the place that you've purchased that season pass. But stuff that you have got on the season pass, like if you have actually got the weapon that was in the quest, then you can still use that on the PC, as far as I'm aware. Or did they change that?
No, that's how it currently is on PC, because whatever I get on PC, I can play on Xbox, even though I haven't purchased it on Xbox yet. But new things that I have access to on the PC, like let's say I get access to a new area on the PC, but I didn't purchase that DLC on the Xbox, I can't go to that area on the Xbox. Even though I've done it previously on the PC, on the Xbox, I can't go to that area. I have to jump back on PC if I want to do whatever area that is. Yeah. So the weapons and everything that you've acquired transfer over, but if you have to access a thing, then it doesn't transfer over. That's why I was concerned.
So in the long run, this is good for Xbox players, and it will hopefully boost like the players for Xbox as well. Because if you're already an unlimited subscriber and you've got an Xbox, you can then get Destiny Beyond Light for free, and all you will have to do is pay, if you want to, for the season pass things that come up for the next 4 seasons of $10 or £10, whatever it is, if you want to opt into it each month, just to get the season pass stuff. If not, at least you should have, fingers crossed, a whole year's worth of stuff that we can play on Xbox, which would be really interesting to see how this model goes down the line, really.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll, all the people who sort of dip their toe into Destiny with New Light saying, okay, it's free to play, let me try this out. Now it'll get the people who, would like to take a little bit more, and again, still maybe don't have the money or don't want to put the money down on, I can't throw down $60, $120, whatever on all this content. $15 a month is a much easier way to get into some of this stuff. Or or to try it out, or to play with their friends if they haven't been. So, I just think it's Bungie, giving you more ways to get into the game and hopefully keep people engaged with it once they're here. It's gonna be real interesting.
Yeah, and the other bonus to it is if you are going to get the next upgrade of Xbox, so you're going to get the Xbox Series X. If you have unlimited, or even if you have purchased Destiny 2 and all the upgrades to it, it's going to come 60 frames per second at 4K native resolution. They haven't said anything about the field of view at the moment, which I heard a lot of podcasts going, ooh, I was like, really? Does it really matter that much? I mean, they've been doing a lot of stuff on the back end with doing different things on consoles to adjust minute things in your settings. So possibly the field of view is going to be changed, but they haven't said it at the moment. I mean, Respawn, you're on PC, you know about this field of view stuff. How make or break is it if something comes out that it's just 60 frames at the moment, 4K, but later on down the line they're going to tweak the thing?
The field of view actually matters a lot. Because just as it implies, you get a larger field of view. So if you're playing PvP, you can see more of the area where people are potentially coming at you. And in PvE, you can see more of the like during raids, right? When I do a raid, we're fighting Garden of Salvation, for example. I can see the whole boss arena almost, with my field of view, and it helps out tremendously, especially when things are sacrificing that shouldn't be sacrificing, right? So there's that, but that also gives you a huge advantage in PvP. So if you're playing against somebody that has a field of view and you don't, you're actually at a disadvantage.
That was one of the first few things I heard about people were worried about when they first announced that they were going to try to bring cross-platform to Destiny. Mm-hmm. They were worried about field of view, frames, other
the frames are important, but the field of view is a much larger advantage, I think. Just being able to see somebody coming at you that the other guy physically cannot is a huge advantage.
Okay. But for now, coming into the Series X and the PlayStation 5, if they were 60 frames, 4K resolution, but not at the moment anything to do with the field of view, that would be okay until they went to let's do crossplay, wouldn't it? Because everybody would still be on the same field of view. I mean, it would be a benefit, like you said, to see the whole arena, see a bit more of the PvP area, to see who's coming at you. But if everybody's still locked into whatever it is at the moment, then I don't see any downside at the moment until you start wanting to do crossplay with PC and things like that.
Yeah,
well, I don't even see anything bad about that. As long as if you're going to do crossplay, I think crossplay should be PvE only, because PvP crossplay, PC players are always going to have that advantage for various reasons.
Yeah, that's
accuracy
a whole
of a mouse and keyboard, freaking field of view, the frames, the recoil. Yeah, they're going to have so many advantages. The only advantage a console player has over a PC player is freaking aim assist. And playing with mouse and keyboard for as long as I have been, I'm actually getting used to not having aim assist. So even that quote unquote advantage isn't really an advantage anymore, So PvE crossplay would be great. PvP crossplay would be a nightmare, and you will see all kinds of videos about why this killed Destiny. I guarantee it.
Yeah. But we're not even at that stage yet, though. That's 2021 that possibilities of talking about. So I like it. Yeah, like you said, I think it's just going to be a PvE thing unless you opt in and opt out of playing PvP, which I don't think a lot of people want to. They don't want to play against the PC crowd where there's going to be cheaters a lot more. We've seen over the last couple of months with trials, with other game modes that people just don't want to play on PC in PvP. I mean, Iron Banner the last time people were saying that there's cheaters in that now. It's until Bungie can do something.
There's cheaters in every mode where winning means something, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So in Trials of Osiris, you have to win to get those things. There's cheaters. In Iron Banner, you have to win to get those tokens and to get these rolls. So there's cheaters there. In Comp, there's really not a whole lot you get except just the glory rank, right? So there's not a whole lot of cheaters there. In Quick Play,
there were before Trials came back though.
Yes,
that was the thing. That's where they all hung out.
Right, but now they're all in Quick Play. All the cheaters and whatnot, most of them you're going to find in Quick Play. And that's why I don't even play Quick Play on the PC. If I'm going to play any kind of actually PvP, I jump onto the Xbox. I do not, 100% do not do PvP on PC. Period. There is no exception.
Why would you? Yeah. Why would you? With everything being no central servers and you're opening yourself into a world of cheaters, why even put yourself into that world of hurt?
And not just cheaters, but you're exposing your PC, because these guys can get your IP address. That's how they kick you off the Xbox, right? Well, imagine what they can do with your IP address and access to your PC with that IP address. It's worse. Curious. Yeah.
Going back to the Game Pass Unlimited stuff, what's actually also really, really cool is in September this year, Xbox announced recently, coming in September, their beta for the xCloud is now going to go live to all unlimited subscribers. So if you are an unlimited subscriber for the Game Pass, you will now have access to the xCloud, which means all the games that are available, or potentially all the games that are available on the unlimited pass, will come to xCloud, and you will either be able to stream them from your Xbox or you will be able to stream them from the cloud. And Destiny 2 is going to be part of that. So come September, you'll be able to play Destiny 2 on your mobile devices. So this is laptops, tablets, whatever that can, host the xCloud. At the moment, when I was in the beta for it, there was a very, very small beta for the iOS, for the Apples, back in February. But then with the whole COVID thing, that kind of went quiet, and I haven't really heard anything more about that. My sign up for that didn't go ahead. I'm still on the Android version, which goes up and down every now and then. But this is going to be potentially really, really good for people that are on the go, if they want to, or if they can, use their mobile devices, and they've got a Bluetooth controller. They can connect that to their device and then play Destiny on the go. I mean, we're not talking trials, maybe. I wouldn't try that, but maybe strikes and doing...
Why not, though? If you get a good enough lag, you would be invincible in trials.
But you know what I mean. It's just going to be fun to actually just be doing stuff on the go. I mean, the xCloud, when it was working for me, was working perfect. There was it was literally, if I was streaming from my Xbox to my laptop and I was sitting in the same room, there was very, very little lag. And streaming from the xCloud with a really good internet connection, I could see working really well. So you could potentially still do some raids, you could do strikes, you could do your bounties and things like that, but maybe not PvP, or maybe PvP.
I did stream from my Xbox to my old laptop through the Xbox app, and I could do PvP. It was annoying, but as long as there wasn't like any big streaming lag spikes, it was mainly fine. There was very minimal, what's it called? Just delay.
Yeah, the input
the screen
delay, yeah.
And your controller movements.
Yeah, that's one of the things for the last year or two. I've played a lot streaming from an Xbox downstairs to a laptop upstairs connected to a big screen, and yeah, it definitely, when it works beautifully. But yeah, then it's like there'll be nothing else on the network, nothing going on, and all of a sudden you'll just get the lag spike out of nowhere, and it's like, okay, I'm wired in all the way. It's not bad Wi-Fi. It's just something hiccups somewhere along the line. I'm really curious. I sort of look at xCloud like I look at Stadia. I'm like, there are absolutely use cases for this, and I'm curious to play with it. But one of the things I kind of hope it'll be decent as they'll be able to improve some of that local streaming as well. Because right now I have two Xboxes set up on two TVs next to each other in my living room, because this is our COVID-19 gaming style on how I play couch co-op with my wife on certain things that you can't play couch co-op with anymore. So I have them set up side by side. So I'm hoping maybe if they make some of the streaming better, I can stream from either the Xbox in the house or the xCloud down to just another screen, laptop, desktop, whatever, and play things that way, and have some more couch co-op experiences with that without having to have two physical TVs and Xboxes sitting side by side.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something I'm interested in from a number of scenarios, but not terribly optimistic about any of them. I mean, we'll eventually, because they've tried all this stuff in the past with different companies and things, it'll eventually get to the point where it gets good enough to be mostly usable. And again, I haven't really played with Stadia because I don't believe Google will care about it in the long term, but maybe with Bungie at least using it as their dev platform, it at least gives them some reason to keep it up and running. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like AZ was saying, when it works, and when I was playing on Stadia to test it out, it worked. And xCloud seemed to be a little bit stronger. And I'm not sure whether that's because they've got
when
more...
it works. That
right.
You can say that about anything. Man.
Yeah, but I'm
It's
talking
smooth.
about it was smooth. There was no issues with it, but it was an optimal setting of nobody else was on the internet at the time,
Exactly.
or I was at work,
or whatever. Yeah,
or I was at work, and it was a lot stronger connection. We were closer to the telephone exchange, so there was a lot faster internet. But then the xCloud on my home internet at the time was very slow, but that worked exceptionally well compared to what Stadia was working as well. So, but just to make sure that everybody is clear about what is happening with Destiny 2. So players that already own Destiny 2 on the Xbox One will be able to transfer their game to the Xbox Series X for free with a smart delivery service. And I believe PlayStation are doing exactly the same thing with whatever service they're calling it. So if you do purchase Beyond Light or any of the DLC on whichever platform it is, PlayStation, you can transfer it and upgrade it to PlayStation 5 from the 4 and Xbox to Series X. So that's...
So I was gone for a little while there. Let me ask you a question. You probably discussed it while I wasn't here, right? But the xCloud, you're streaming from the cloud, not your Xbox that's at home or some nonsense, right?
Right.
You can do either. On the settings that are on the tablet, if you own the game, you can stream from your game in your house via your own Wi-Fi. If you are streaming from the cloud, it has to be a game that is on the cloud. So Destiny has been in the beta testing part of it for the last 3 or 4 months. So you can stream Destiny at the moment if you are in the beta program and use the cloud service.
I'm asking because when I play games from my PS4, right, the PS4, I have to stream from it. So it's going over my home Wi-Fi and over whatever Wi-Fi I'm going to. So it's crossing, multiple systems, right? And I know they'd be doing that anyway. But the problem is it's initiating at my home off my PS4, which has its own limitations, right? So if instead Xbox is going to let me stream whatever I want to from the Xbox cloud itself, not my home Xbox, A, that means I don't have to leave my Xbox on standby. I can just turn it off. Or B, if I'm carrying it in my suitcase, for example, it's not even at home, right? I can actually turn on my cell phone, my tablet, my whatever, and play it with, I'm hoping, better stream quality than streaming from a device that's at my house.
Yes, it will be 10 times better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe even 100 times better, because the Xbox servers are, just all over the world. They've been setting up this infrastructure for the xCloud for quite some time. And I think it was to try and get ahead of Stadia at the time. But all I've heard is positive things from the xCloud compared to what the Stadia is at the moment. So maybe that's why Bungie are kind of siding slightly towards, let's move into this area with Xbox just in case something goes wrong on the other side over there that nobody seems to be playing on at the moment. Right. Because with Xbox, you've already got the install base, you've got a system that's working, you've got the Game Pass that there are, I think it was like 10 million subscribers to already. So you've got a potential player base that you're going to expand upon with giving them a good base part of a game. And you're partnering with Microsoft, who are, they're not small compared to like Google Stadia at the moment. Is that this thing's going to be big?
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft has been doing this a while. They've got the infrastructure, they've got the networking know-how. You're playing those games coming out of a data center through the backbone of the internet pipes. Not that you aren't coming out of that from Google, but Google's dalliance with gaming is short-lived compared to what Microsoft's been building for years. And obviously their investment in Xbox, like 19%, they've been building this infrastructure up for a while. They're not just going to spin it up and go, hey, this is what we're doing this week. So I'm really curious about xCloud. I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's still all dependent on your home connection. So for a lot of people, it's still gaming over the internet. It's like, oh yeah, it sounds great if you're in a big city with fat pipes and low latency, things like that. And even then, it still may not be what you want to play trials on or what you want to try to, do like, competitive. You're not going to see esports over xCloud for the most part. If you're just playing,
definitely on esports anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're just having fun, it's a viable option, and I'm really curious to see where they go with this, because there's a lot of applications I'm interested in that aren't necessarily what they're shooting at, but it'll just make my life a little bit easier, and I'm happy to pay a subscription for things if I don't have to have hardware in my house. Because as I get older and have a job that pays me, I'm happy to throw money at a problem instead of sitting and spinning something up or doing it myself.
So I've got a question for you guys. So a lot of people were saying when they play on Stadia, there's a lot less hacking and a lot less ability for people to cheat at the game. So there was a lot of positiveness about playing trials on Stadia, because you were kind of behind the Google servers. So if that is correct, then potentially, is this not the same for playing on xCloud? I'm throwing it out to you guys because you guys would maybe know this kind of answer, or
I haven't seen any data on this.
Yeah, I mean, potentially, you're basically going into their closed system. You're stepping into their closed data centers with all the infrastructure and security that it has that your home Xbox or your home PC absolutely doesn't. Not to say it's impossible, but it's a lot harder to get through those levels of infrastructure to get into the game, because basically you're passing through all the security to get into where you're playing this game, and then with other people. So it's like you pass through the castle gates, the moat, the dragon, and now you can hang out with your friends, as opposed to everyone at home trying to get to your PC, which has a sliding glass door on it and a lock that says "Please don't open me" on it,
right? And a hammer that says "Use in case of emergency."
Exactly.
But I mean, it all depends on what information that Bungie is sending out. If Bungie is sending out, like, let's say you got a bunch of people in the same lobby, right? If Bungie has to send out your source IP, right, into this lobby as a way for everybody to connect back to you so you can all game together, then they can still see your IP. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know if there's going to be a NAT involved.
If you are streaming somewhere from the xCloud, you're not actually, there's nothing connecting. You're connecting to the xCloud like you would do on the Google Stadia stuff. So
right, you're connected to the xCloud with your IP address, and I'm saying I don't know if there's going to be a NAT, meaning a network address translation, and then they send that IP out to whatever group you're playing in, or they just type your IP through their system, and they can still see your IP. I don't know how they're going to do it.
There's no way they'll do that. They're going to do it just like you do network, you do website stuff today. There's no way that you on an xCloud is going to see my IP from an xCloud. My IP goes into the Microsoft data center. It gets natted to whatever IP range those servers sit on, along with yours and Night Demons and whoever else I'm playing with. And then that natted IP from that data center goes back out to the person on the other side. You're not going to know what my IP is because we're all just nodes on a server somewhere. We're all just little people sitting on
I'm hoping that's how it works. I agree, but
there's no reason that it's peer to peer, but all of our peers are in the data center.
Is it really peer to peer at that point, or are we working off dedicated servers at that point?
Well, yeah, good point. I mean, at that point, it is dedicated server. It may still say, "Oh, please let it be." I hadn't even thought about that. Please let it be dedicated servers. Please Bungie, please let this be like the intro, because because even if 12 of us join a PvP match and Bungie goes eeny meeny miny mo, that guy is the host of this game. We're still just 12 people connected to a server in a data center somewhere, versus running off some guy's Xbox or PS4 or PC. So yeah, I mean, it's
some guy's cell phone.
Right. I'm sitting here with my Pixel and I'm hosting a PvP match. I'm going to beat you all because you're going to have a terrible experience. Yeah. I mean, at that point, it may be peer to peer technically, but we're all just peers on the same server. Not
killed you all while you're still loading in.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, pretty much we're all peers into that server. There's nothing. There's no way that you as another player should know my IP address, because there's no reason to expose that, and that's a huge security issue if it is.
Yeah, and another positive to take away from this is if you are going to stream on the xCloud, you can still play with your friends on Xbox. So potentially it's like a cross-play kind of thing where you could potentially be playing on a tablet somewhere else, and be playing with your friends who are playing on Xboxes. So it's technically, I know it's all the same kind of infrastructure on Microsoft and the xCloud stuff, but it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. You can still play with your friends. It's not like you're playing on Stadia and you can't play with your friends on Xbox. You can still play with your friends on the Xbox because you're part of that infrastructure, ecosystem, whatever it's called. You know what I mean?
And I totally love that too, because sometimes I leave my Xbox at home when I travel to make my small bag overweight, right? So I'll just bring my laptop, And like my son or Az or somebody like that will be like, hey, can you jump on and help me out with X? And I'm like, man, I'd love to, but I only have my PC with me. In that particular instance, I no longer need to carry my Xbox with me anywhere if I can just hop onto their xCloud and still play with my son or Az or Blue or whatever. So that would be amazing.
You'd still have to have access. You still have to like download the game on your Xbox still though, and start it, and then upload it to the xCloud.
No.
No. That's what we've been talking about. The xCloud is going to originate from the xCloud, not a home device.
Yeah, the xCloud is your Xbox. Yeah, just like Stadia, you're connecting to a server somewhere that Google runs to play Destiny. Same thing. You're connecting to a server somewhere that Microsoft runs to play Destiny.
Yeah,
that's a game changer.
We've Pokemon Go the Destiny experience. You download your little copy of Pokemon Go, but you're out there in the world of the Pokemon. You're out there running around shooting bats.
Could you imagine seeing Zavala on the corner of the 7-Eleven?
I would love nothing better if I could go to real world places and Zavala or State 14 hanging out.
Yeah.
So we do have some frequently asked questions that have been posted on the Bungie website, which we will link, but we can quickly go through them. So, question.
Have we even gone into the dive deep on the TWAB yet? Have we started the damn TWAB? Oh my god!
We have. We've done
we've gotten past the video and the first section, and now we're at the FAQ of the section right before the deep dive. See, we're getting there.
Oh my god!
So, question: does this partnership with Xbox mean that Destiny 2 content is launching on Xbox first?
Well, Night Demon, all content on Destiny 2 remains available to all players on any platform and is going to be available at the same time. There are no content exclusives on any platform.
And that's a good thing, because I think that's one thing that Microsoft have championed for quite some time, is that they just want to be part of a bigger system. If you want to play on their systems, you'll get more benefits, but, open to everyone, which is quite nice. So, question. Is the seasonal content included as part of Game Pass?
No. With an active Xbox Game Pass subscription, players will have access to the Standard Edition of Forsaken and Shadowkeep expansions beginning in September 2020, and the Standard Edition of Beyond Light expansion beginning November 10th, 2020. Seasonal content is available for separate purchase.
But cheaper, obviously, if you own the Game Pass. You don't have to pay for Beyond Light. Question: what happens if I already have pre-ordered Beyond Light on Xbox?
Those Xbox Game Pass subscribers who purchase any edition of Beyond Light will still have access to the expansion and its associated content if Beyond Light leaves Game Pass or their Game Pass subscription expires.
Question: what will happen to my expansions when/if Destiny 2 leaves Xbox Game Pass?
Well, Night Demon, players will have access to the Destiny 2 expansions while they have an active Game Pass subscription. Now, if Destiny 2 expansions leave Game Pass, the players will need to purchase those expansions to continue playing the expansion content. Very similar to how games on Game Pass are now. If you go and try out a game on Game Pass, it leaves Game Pass, you still have to buy your sort of license to that game, your copy of that game, in order to keep playing it. Same thing
I don't think they addressed this question properly, though. Like, the way that I see it, I'm thinking they're probably asking more about the saved file. Hey, do I still keep all my crap? If I go buy the game,
you'll still keep all the crap that you've earned. Anything that you've earned will just be part of your profile on the Bungie servers. You won't lose anything else like that. And what's quite good with Game Pass is when something does come up to leave Game Pass, they'll send you a notification. Oh, this is a game that you've played, or maybe you're interested in this game. Would you like to purchase it at X amount of money? And let's face it, the expansions have come up and the season passes have come up in the past for Destiny anyway at a reduced cost later on in the seasons, haven't they? You can buy X for this because you're 3/4 of the way through. So potentially, as it comes to the end of the Microsoft deal, you might have an option to purchase what's already gone. But if you don't, then you don't have to worry, because remember, there is New Light with Destiny 2. It's free to play for certain parts. And what they'll do every couple of years is they'll upgrade it to what actual parts that you could actually have for free to play. So if Game Pass does go away, there'll still be some part of Destiny 2 that you can still play for free and still have access to. So, where are we? Question: are the Beyond Light pre-order bonuses available via Xbox Game Pass?
No. In order to get access to pre-order items and digital bonuses, you must first purchase Beyond Light.
So what are these, Parody, if you remind the lovely people?
Oh, the Beyond Light pre-orders, those were the things we talked about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay, I'll tell people. There's an emblem that you can get. There is a freeze tag emote, and there is a ghost shell where you have that is frozen. And you'll also have access to the No Time to Explain exotic pulse rifle and skin once the game launches.
And Catalyst.
Yep, yeah, and the catalyst and stuff, depending on which version you buy. Yeah, these are the various Stranger packs they had available, which makes sense. If you don't pre-order, you don't get the pre-order bonuses.
So, question: what happens to my current Xbox Destiny 2 expansions?
Destiny 2 and its associated expansions will continue to work as normal outside of Xbox Game Pass, just like every other game. And those are our FAQs about the wonderful world of Xbox coming to Game Pass and AZ clicking on the cassette tape.
What are you clicking?
It's a Nerf gun.
I absolutely imagine he's desperately trying to put the cassette tape into his Walkman, and it just won't go in. It just won't quite fit.
I'm playing with a Nerf gun.
Well, why are you playing with it when you're not
Stop
muted, dude?
playing with the Nerf gun. I've got to delete all of that.
Yeah.
Respawn, we finally made it to your favorite part there, buddy. We made it. We got there.
What part is that?
Please take us on the deep dive.
The deep dive. All right, let's go into the deep dive. Most of our fresh content doesn't end up on our streaming channels. No kidding. So it's time we got back to our old antics. Ooh, we have antics. Hello. Sorry. Next week, your host will be the freshest face on the community team. I didn't get an invite. Oh, this Nicole. Who is this Nicole person? They said the freshest face. Obviously, that would be me.
Fresh face on the team. Not your face.
Whatever.
Your face,
Okay.
buddy. Your face is not fresh.
So apparently, this Nicole person is going to be there, and she joins us today in today's TWAB to discuss the details on the developer deep dive into Destiny Dungeon. That is a lot of D's. That's what she said. Nicole, ouch. Nicole, howdy, Guardians. I hope you're all safe, healthy, and finding some fun out there. Thanks for keeping us company, not to mention each other, during these very unique days. I felt so welcome stepping into the community from the Bungie side, and I'm excited to continue to explore ways to engage with and entertain you. During our recent participation in the St. Jude fundraiser marathon with our friends who drive the @GCX event, we discovered some new ways to recreate the streaming experience from our homes, which means developer community is coming soon to a screen near you. IMAX? If it's not an IMAX, then I don't care. You are cordially invited. Of course I am. Let's try that again. You are cordially invited. Of course I am. To dive into the Prophecy Dungeon with some of the devs who created the experience. Developer deep dive Prophecy Dungeon. www.twitch.tv/Bungie, Tuesday, July 28th, 10 a.m. Pacific. Maybe this will be out before then. We'll see. Come watch us play our own game and tell you stories from its creation on the development floor. Learn more about our inspirations and motivations as we share snapshots from when it was just a work in progress. Join us in the chat for the conversation. We welcome you behind the curtain for a bit of fun, reminiscing, and insight into the life of game development. I can't wait to talk to you again soon, but for now, see you then. Oh, and yes, we'll archive it later for those of you who can't make it. There we go. Beaver dams. Them damn beavers. Them damn beaver dam, damn beaver dam, damn beaver dam. We would never harm our large-toothed, pond-dwelling friends, but we are on a mission to reduce the error codes that share their name. Last week, we had some success in bringing the number of beaver errors back down to similar levels reported in past seasons. Here is the Destiny dev team with some more info on our progress. Destiny dev team. This past week, Valve identified hardware configuration issues with 4 relays in their Chicago, Virginia, Stockholm, and Dubai data centers. In each case, the affected relay was unable to send traffic to one other relay in the same data center. Thank you, dogs, for just ruining this whole ASMR, say that thing. If a connection to a peer went through both of these relays, then it would drop. Valve has fixed the configuration issue and will have confirmed that the rate of disconnections in the affected areas has been reduced significantly. These changes have reduced the Beaver error code significantly, with players in the central and eastern United States of America being impacted by the most Beaver code errors that have ever existed, and are an indication of connectivity failure and can be caused by a wide range of issues. What?
I don't know if your has expired. I think
in closing,
if
internets are hard.
Hold on, just wait.
Hang on a minute. I'm just having a conversation with a third party.
Yeah.
No. My wife is leaving to go to the beach, so just give me a second.
Oh no, Parody, it was really funny the other day. His brother was in the raid with us, Crown of Sorrow raid. We're in the middle of doing the last encounter, and we're calling out where we are and what we need to do. His brother takes a phone call asking about a refund for something. People in the raid
refinance of his home. Refinance.
That was it.
Yeah.
And somebody else was going, "What, we refinance it?" And we're going, "No, don't listen to that. He hasn't muted himself." And then he gets a phone call from his doctor. And he's talking to his doctor, and then he goes, "See, Joe, this is how you do it. You say this, you say that." And he's like, let's just get on with the encounter.
No, you missed the best part. He left out the best part. So we're doing Crown of Sorrow, and where the crystals pop up, and there's all this chaos happening, right? So they have a crystal on their side while Joey's talking to his refinance guy, and Demon's like, what did you call him? Pico, Crystal, Pico, Crystal, Pico, get off the damn phone, this is Crystal, Pico. He was his damn mind. Joey got there in time to get the crystal, which was funny. But the fact that Night Demon is losing his ever-loving mind, yelling at him to get off the damn phone and get the damn crystal was hysterical. And then after that, I got a call, and I said, look, that's how you do it. You give them the info, you take the info, you hang up the damn call. That's how you do that. But anyway, that was amazing.
And this is why the Frozen Clan on Xbox doesn't raid successfully.
Especially when Respawn has
to
take a call.
This particular encounter that we're talking about right now, Night Demon had a boss checkpoint. We spent 3-4 hours?
3 hours.
3 hours. 3 hours.
3 hours utterly failing at it because
had this boss
point
without ever making it to the first damage phase.
You see, this was the same. Which raid is this? Is this
Crown of Sorrow?
Crown of Sorrow. Okay, this is one the Night Demon and I did in an LFG group one day. Burned through the whole raid. Got to the end of it. It was my first time through it, and his maybe first or second. Burned through the whole thing. And that was the point where his mic decided to cut out because it was he, Night Demon and I on one side, trying to communicate, and I more or less knew what I was doing, but I had never done it. So I'm running around looking for the crystals, and meanwhile I've got Night Demon going over here like crit, good, parry, that. And I'm like, yeah, it worked flawlessly the entire raid.
Wasn't he the map reader too? Like the most important job?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he was map reader. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but this is one that was just he and I with we had found someone to Sherpa us through, and we even lost another kid at one point along the way, and again, flawless mic, worked beautifully until the thing, and then at that point he had to go, and someone else had to leave, and it just fell apart. But it's worked beautifully up until you really needed to hear those call outs, and then it was just like, no, we're done being internet now. So I can sympathize getting into that part of the raid and going, I can see the rewards over there across the cliff, but I just can't.
No, we didn't even see the rewards. The rewards never even came into question. The first damage phase was mountains and peaks away. Okay, so
anyway,
back into character.
Continue where you left off.
Some beaver codes, sorry about that. Some beaver error codes are caused by local internet connectivity issues. If you are still experiencing a lot of these beaver errors, please use the follow our network. Please use please follow our network troubleshooting guide and then report any further issues on our help forum. Both of those are links. There we go. Next, Destiny! The official cookbook has released this week. Yeehaw! It contains all kinds of Destiny-inspired culinary concoctions waiting for you to whip up for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe even some second breakfast if you're as hungry as the Drifter usually is. Yum, 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 yum. Not to mention Drifter eats his ghost later on. Spoiler alert. Earlier in this week, we gave you a behind-the-scenes look on how the cookbook came to be. Pretended is not a word. I am illiterate when I talk like this. We are partnered with Victoria Rosenthal to author this collection of recipes. She showed off her culinary and photography skills and dove deep into the Destiny lore and helped bring this fun cooking guide to life. The Destiny official cookbook is on the Bungie store right now if you want to add it to your library. Let's get it done. Yeehaw, buckaroo bob. I don't know what else to say.
So, while Bungie is correct, it is indeed on the Bungie store. You will need to use the EU Bungie store to actually buy the official Destiny cookbook.
Are you serious?
For £37.99. Because it is currently sold out on the American Bungie store. It is currently unavailable, though they do point you toward Amazon, where you can pick up the official Destiny cookbook from there, hardcover, for $31.50, or as little as $23.24 used. So, yeah, it's on the store in the US and not in the EU, but it's unavailable because either they just don't want you to have it or everyone bought it. It's hard to say. But if you're in the EU, you can still buy it. Night Demon, that doesn't mean you, buddy. Sorry.
You're not part of the EU anymore.
So at some point, I do want to pick this up because I'm really curious, too, now that it's out in the world. I'm sure I'm Fallout. I'm looking at you, buddy. I'm waiting for some folks to start making things out of this because I'm very curious to see what's in this book, and I want to pick one up and make some of the things from it.
Because I want to know if
fun. What video game has a cookbook?
I knew you were going to say cookies. I knew you were going to say the cookies.
I want to know if there are cookies from the Revelry in there to make.
Nice.
I'm sure there are Gahaladoodles. Is that what they were?
Gallardoodles, yeah.
Howdoodles, Galadoodles, Sparrowdoodles.
I'm sure those are in there. I mean, ramen, loads of ramen. I mean, the whole book may just be all ramen. It's hard to say.
There is chicken on the cover. Okay, yeah, you can eat the book as ramen. Just boil the book. It's made out of ramen.
Yeah, it's like the pages are very thin sliced noodles. You just boil the book, get some ramen in there. A couple flavor packets mixed in. Chicken, just dump it right in the ramen. You're good. Throw some hoisin sauce on it. Everything's good to go.
It just
All right.
So that's out in the world. Twitch Prime is back.
Yeah.
Because Bungie said, we're going to continue to partner with Twitch Prime. And really, as we talked about earlier with Stasis coming, if you don't already have it, you're going to want the tractor cannon. It's the boop cannon. It pushes people backward. It does void damage. Because this week for Twitch Prime, we've got the tractor cannon, the exotic weapon, the exotic... Is it a shotgun? Is that what they technically call it? Is that what the stupid thing is?
It is a shotgun,
yes.
It is
a shotgun.
The pushes you backward, Half-Life style. You're also going to get the Machinist Trove, the weapon ornament for the boop cannon, tractor cannon. You're also going to get the Shadow Trespass exotic ship and the Cavalcade legendary Sparrow, which are things. Who cares about them?
Sharks.
You want the boop cannon. It's important to have the boop cannon. If you already have the boop cannon, stick it in your inventory, let Amanda hold on to it forever until it's the light level you want it to be. Then you can pull it out and use it when you need to. That's my plan
for shards.
See, you people need all these shards. I don't understand.
I only have 700 now.
Sorry, hey guys, I just want to let y'all know, and for all the users that are out there, right? If you guys have never used the tractor cannon is a very unique shotgun in Destiny. Not only does it knock you back, but it also suppresses. And this is important because while I was playing Gambit Prime, when somebody invades and they're in their super and you just boop them out of the super, there is almost nothing in the game that is more satisfying than that. Okay? And then they die right after that. So not only is it a shotgun, it's a shotgun that has kind of range, but it's got a wide area of effect. So unlike some shotguns where you can only shoot one enemy, with the tractor cannon, you can shoot a group of enemies at the same time, and they all get knocked back, and they all get suppressed. It is surprisingly fun to use.
And on top of that, it makes them more vulnerable to all incoming damage.
Yeah, by like what,
Especially
30%? Is it?
Yeah,
30 or 20?
Weakens. It's amazing. It's like taking that Titan suppressor grenade in shotgun form that also gives you the oppressive darkness that also just it makes your day very bad.
It
It's
does.
a grenade, a gun.
And if you get the catalyst, you get 7 rounds in your magazine. 7!
Which is just silly. It's all just silly.
The whole thing is ridiculous. But it is a very fun gun to use, and it often gets underlooked because of all the other exotics that we have out there. And the only reason I'm saying this now is because I did recently, like I said earlier, have to run a triple shotgun loadout for Gambit. And this was my heavy, and after shooting one person with it, I didn't use anything else for the rest of the time that I was playing.
So I know you said earlier you had to run the triple shotgun. Why were you running the triple shotgun loadout?
Yeah,
Gambit shotgun.
Oh, to get the Python done? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was going for Hush, and I was going for Breakneck, and
I just did it. Shut up.
I got 9 kills with the auto rifle. That's it.
Sir, you're A, using the wrong auto rifle, and B, doing it wrong.
I was doing it wrong. Because I was also trying to invade at the same time.
Yeah, no, you're doing it very, very wrong. Someone get this man a whiteboard to lay out some plays for him, sir. Sir.
He learned from his mistakes.
Are you new here?
That was before I got a 9 hunger. That had substance, kill, substance, rampage, and drop mag, which I kept.
And what's worse, Parody? What's worse is he was running a Titan. So he's running a Titan. Yeah, you were one. Oh no, who was that? Blue? Somebody else that was with us was running a Titan, who's usually a hunter.
I have no idea who it was. I don't think I was with you then.
I thought it was you. It wasn't. I apologize because I was about to get on your case about you using a Titan and not using the War Pig and the freaking sweet business if you had to get auto rifle kills.
Yeah, or your annoying hunger with overflow on it.
It doesn't have overflow. It
doesn't have that roll.
Mag.
Yeah. See, is he slackers? See, I need to go. Actually, you played a bunch of Reckoning. Did you play Respawn when the curated gnawing hunger was still there, and did you get one? Because I'm curious if I can go play and get a new overflow gnawing hunger, or if it's just gonna tap out at the end of the season. I'm not gonna grind for it if it expires at the end of the season.
I did play, but I never got the curated roll.
Okay.
Neither did I.
Yeah, because I've got about 6 gnawing hungers that I've been hanging on to, along with my curated roll that I don't want to give up until at least the season ends.
They are getting sunset though because they got last man standing shotguns and they were from season of the Drifter.
Yeah, see,
I'm talking about God rolls. One of our favorite YouTubers just put out a video of a God roll for the gnawing hunger, and I'm looking for it right now to let you know.
You say a God roll? It was more or less like 9 God rolls because he's basically like, broken down in mouse. Yeah. So yeah, Ft.AZPlayz. I watched this video this morning. Ft.AZPlayz put out a video for the the God roll for gnawing hunger that he breaks down for mouse and keyboard versus controller versus PvE versus PvP. And then it's
hey!
It's like,
I'm sorry. Have we skipped a whole lot of sections here? It's not my tips, tricks, and guides. How have we suddenly got you guys now giving tips, tricks, and guides?
Because I was letting him know about the gnawing hunger because he was talking about God rolls, and I didn't know. That was
on for a couple of weeks, and he's taking over, and he's trying to push me out and just completely take over. That's it. I know what this is. I know what this is happening now. I know what's happening right now.
First of all. No, I didn't know it was in your tips, tricks, and guides because that involves me reading, which I don't do. Second of all, it was pertinent to the conversation we were having at that moment. Okay.
Do you know, Night Demon?
Do I know what?
Well, you've been listening to the conversation, so clearly you have the answer to my question of can I go get a new curated roll, gnawing hunger that will last past the season?
No.
No, I can't.
Don't know, or no, you can't.
No, you can't. Anything that you get from Reckoning is only up until the end of this season. It sunsets. So nobody has had a curated roll drop because they are just the old versions. The same with the iClass weapons that you can get from the dungeon and that you can get from the new Umbral engrams. Those, the shotgun, the sniper, the submachine gun, the hand cannon that you can get from dungeon and the engrams are all updated ones. You can go and play Escalation Protocol and still get the fixed rolled old versions of them, which makes no sense, because why not just update the fact that you may get a random chance at those to drop at the end of Escalation Protocol as well? It makes no sense to me. But hey ho,
content is going away and we don't care about it anymore.
Yes, but all they had to do was substitute the weapons that drop in that final chest with the ones that you could get from the engrams and from doing the dungeon. So you had two places that you could potentially get those weapons from. But, what do I know? I don't work at Bungie.
And then the Telesto would have opened a rift in the space-time continuum. Hunters wouldn't have been able to dodge anymore. And Titans would not be able to land on the ground. They'd just hop like a bunny the entire time. Because that's how Bungie works.
I think we need to add, honestly, the Telesto breaks a lot of things, but I think we also need to add the freaking, I'm sorry, I'm eating my tater tots for breakfast.
Oh, just to say, what's for breakfast?
It's breakfast time. I forgot it's breakfast time for you.
No, the wife went to the beach and she didn't have time to cook me breakfast, so I had to order it today, and it just arrived.
Respawn.
But no,
we
need to add the Wither Horde to the Telesto breaks the game, don't we?
That was only for like the first week. It was when
the Wither Horde, and now it's not cool anymore. Wither Horde was so last week. Everyone's about the Ruinous Effigy this week.
I don't know. Wither Horde's still really good, but okay, continue.
So, Parody, is it now time for your...
We skipped the emblem. Are we skipping this emblem?
What emblem?
I haven't gotten...
Septenary encryption emblem?
That's under the Damn Restored, where it says our player support team is tracking all the known issues, and this is their report. The first item in their report being the Septenary encryption emblem. The one to last week, players were able to redeem their Bungie Day Septenary encryption emblem in their Bungie.net account code redemption history. An issue arose when players discovered that they had the option to choose a platform to redeem the emblem on. This wasn't intentional, and we've confirmed that the platform chosen doesn't matter when you go to retrieve the emblem in-game. So they gave you a checkbox option that did nothing, because you're getting the emblem no matter what. Once players redeemed the emblem in their inventory, once players have redeemed their emblem, they should restart Destiny 2 and visit their Collections, Flare, General section to acquire the emblem. Or it can sit there and forget it exists like I do. In addition to that, we had a couple of known issues, because it wouldn't be a day if there aren't known issues. I'm going to skip this first one because it just makes me laugh so hard. The duress and egress lore items may disappear if the triumphs aren't claimed. And people, we've been telling you for a year now, when you've completed a triumph, claim the triumph or bad things happen. So when you get a triumph, claim it. The Southpaw controller scheme doesn't allow sparrows to boost. So if you're trying to, say, conduct a sparrow race with great motivation from the burning death behind you, don't use the Southpaw controller scheme. The High Energy Fire Dawn mod doesn't allow the Consumed with Light stack twice. Doesn't allow Consumed with Light to stack twice when the stacks on bits on bits Dawn mod is equipped. And my favorite known issue of the week. Good news, everyone. We fixed some of your beaver issues on PC. However, players can't see their responses in chat on PC anymore.
Sorry.
So while you don't get disconnected, you can't chat with each other in text. You're going to have to scream at each other like Respawn does. Because players can't see their responses in chat on PC anymore. All the more reason to play on Xbox. In a world where players can't see the responses to chats.
In a world where you can't chat at all.
And there's movies of the week. And, there's a Pokemon one. So, there's that. And, it's not the end of this week. We still have a Friday to survive, which, if you're listening to this, you've survived your Friday. Congratulations. But now, we brought this week of Bungie to a close. And with the journey to Beyond Light being extended, we're 1 week closer. We're 1 week farther away.
I'm sorry. I actually have to read off lore. I promised him last week I'd read it this week. So don't close the show yet.
Oh, we're not close. We have many more parts left, but that leaves a lot of time to talk about how the next expansion will change the game and what you'll want to accomplish between now and November. And Cosmo's out, so it'd be nice to DMG while he's gone.
So I've got a question for you guys. We're getting Stasis, which is meant to be our dark element, whatever. No?
It's all frozen.
It's frozen.
Okay.
It's all frozen.
Okay. We're at the moment where we've got 3 light elements that we wield, and now we're getting a dark element with the stasis. How is this is a genuine question, right? How is charged with light going to work with the stasis ability? Is it going to form some kind of new ability?
Charged with darkness.
Or are you going to have to be charged with darkness to do new things? Or are you going to be able to combine the two things? Are you going to be able to be charged with darkness on your light abilities and charged with light on your dark abilities to form something else that's new in the game? Or am I just completely over the top of...
No, you raised a good point, and I believe they're going to just come out with new mods, depending on the subclass that you probably use, right? But I know somebody's going to have something to say. But this past week, I finally put together a Charge with Light build. And it's life-changing. Right? It is life-changing. Never in my life have I experienced such gratuitous amounts of damage for no reason than these damn Charge with Light builds. It is completely nutters. Did I know about them? Yes. Have I ever tried them personally? Not until this past week. And boy, have I been missing out on a whole section of this game that I could have been using the whole time. So, I'm just letting you guys out there that haven't used any Charge of Light builds because you're stubborn like I am and you fear change, try it. But yeah, go out there and make a Charge with Light build. I could only do a minimal build. I did the one where I get charged with light whenever I pick up an orb. I did the mod where I get an extra stack every time I become charged with light. And then the third one was you do an extra, 20 or 30% damage while you're charged with light, but every time you get a kill, it consumes a stack. Unless you're fighting a boss and you just get all that extra damage forever. So yeah, try it.
And I found it quite interesting. You were talking about Gambit earlier. And I was playing Gambit this week because I've decided I was going to go for the Reckoner title. So I've got my collector's set on and trying to go in there and let people know that I'm just there to collect the motes and bank the motes was quite hard for people to understand. I think because a lot of new players have come in, and when it first came out, you went in wing sets. You are either the collector, the reaper, the invader, or the defender of the. And nobody seems to want to kind of stick to that now. It's kind of all over the place. So it's really hard to do those Reckoner titles. So I think if they are taking out Gambit and Gambit Primes to restructure it for when it comes back, and say they bring both of them back, I would like to see something like a Gambit Prime set lock-ins. It will match you up with like 4 of you in a team, but it won't let you progress into the match until you've all kind of locked into character.
How would you implement that, though?
But the same way that Gears does it at the moment. You know, the game won't progress until all people have actually said, right, I'm going to be this. You can't all be the same character because they all have different abilities. So if you're playing Horde, there has to be like a sniper, there has to be a tank, there has to be a defender. And the game won't let you press start until you've actually all kind of assigned yourselves those roles and got your characters ready to play. So I'd like to see that going forward. Rather than having the armor that says, right, at 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15 coins, or armor, or 5 armor pieces, it gives you those set bonuses. Maybe because you have chosen that class, it will give you that for 1 coin of that time, or you have to burn like 4 coins or 5 coins to actually earn to do whatever it is in that section of you've chosen to do. So if you are the collector, you have to burn 5 coins to get all 5 points on a collector's set, rather than actually wear the actual armor. Yeah, maybe that's because we've got so many armor pieces in the game. I mean, if you think about it, you've got the sets from the raids, so you've got like about 5 different sets that you can wear. With the Leviathan, you've even got an extra set for like the normal and then the prestige versions of those. Yes, they can have the same mod slots on them, so you don't necessarily need to collect all of those. But then you've got the Escalation Protocol, you've got the 4 different sets for Gambit Prime, you've got the regular sets that you can collect out in the world, which you can get high stats on. You've got the Iron Banner, you've got Crucible, you've got Strikes. There's just so many different sets and trying to collect everything and making sure that you've done everything is really hard. So at the moment, I'm kind of just doing one set at a time. So I'm going to be a collector until I've ticked that box. I've got that emblem. I've done all those triumphs on that set. Then I'm going to delete it and then move on to the next set because I can't have that many items left in my vault. I've got like 20 spaces. I just can't do it anymore.
Night Demon just said he deleted something in his vault, which again, I totally understand because that armor set takes up a ton of room. Yeah, but I just had to. I thought I had died and had a stroke or something because you said you deleted a set of armor.
No, I haven't deleted it as yet, but I did go through Destiny Item Manager in the last couple of weeks, and
there's an intention to delete. You've come to the realization that it's going to happen. I've gone to the
realization I've got to delete those. Okay. I still have.
Don't delete them. They look really good, especially some of the Titan ones. They look really good. So keep the one set that you want to transmat. Right?
No, I don't mind. I don't care. If Transmog comes back, then if I can't wear that armor, I'm not really bothered. To be honest, I'm giving up caring about certain things like that now, and it's got to the point.
I don't believe
it's got to the point I can't collect everything and I can't keep everything, so I've had to be quite ruthless with what I'm getting rid of. I've had to go, even though I'm going to still.
It's gotten to the point. What do you mean it's gotten to the point? It's been like that since the beginning of D1.
Yes, but whereas I would have like 5 different roles of Ignoring Hunger, I'm now down to like maybe holding on to 3 different roles. Or, I wouldn't have... I'm still holding on to different stat rolls of exotic armor, but I'm a bit more kind of carefree about some of the other armor. I've got rid of anything that is below... like a 59. Anything that I've now got in my vault is higher than 60, depending on what character it is. I mean, Titan, I've got more armor pieces, and funny enough, I've got more for my Hunter at the moment than I have my Warlock. But then I'm going back and playing the game in and out. But I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Struggling trying to do the Reckoner title. I know it's my own fault for leaving it so late. But I'm quite thankful that we've now got until November. I've got some time to actually slowly do this because trying to get the half-baked triumph is quite hard because you've got to bank more than half of what the rest of the team are doing. And when it's not
hard at all.
When you've got idiots on your team that are picking up 5 motes and banking them, running back, and the other person's picked up 15, and you're just standing there like, well, I've got 8. I'm going to go and bank it, and then I'm just going to try and get the half-baked thing.
You know how you solve that?
Hey, that's what you do.
You solve that by using shotguns because as soon as you get the kill, they fall on you. Okay, real talk here. Real talk.
Hunters have hands. Titans can't.
I understand. I understand.
Real talk though. When I was running the triple shotgun, I picked up so many motes accidentally because I wasn't even trying to pick them up. I'm thinking, hey, I'm getting CQC, engagements here. I'm probably going to die, so I'm actively avoiding picking up motes. And I kept having 15 without even realizing it. So if you're having that much of a problem with your teammates, go in with shotguns. Not maybe like 3 shotguns like I did, but go in there, get close, get the kill, and you just get the motes, dude.
Okay, I'll try it. But I'm going to slowly go through it. I think one of the hardest ones for me is going to be being the invader and trying to get sniper kills. Fusion kills I'm not so worried about. There are different fusion rifles I can use.
Does linear fusion count? Because you have the Arbalisk.
Yes. Yeah, sniper and linear fusion. Yeah, that's what I was worried about too. I'm sure the apparently 5 I have of the 25 are all linear fusion because I'm terrible with the sniper rifle. Although you have a revoker, so that's something.
Mm-hmm. But no, Az brought up a point that's kind of a half joke. Could you imagine Night Demon's D2 checklist?
It's just slightly more full than mine.
Slightly more full?
Yeah.
Come on.
A bit more full. I am down to 350 of 500 slots, and I haven't even slaughtered the weapons yet. I've loaded them on the Hunter and unlocked them all to delete, but I haven't actually gotten around to doing that. because the reckoning is coming. Well, actually, the reckoning is going away, but the reckoning for all my weaponry.
Nice, very nice.
And something else I wanted to kind of bring up with you guys is the Grandmaster Nightfalls. Now,
Oh my
I'm
God.
really, really interested in doing these things, and I was really interested in doing them last season. I wasn't able to get up to the required level to get into them before the end of the season, let alone now. And I know this is something, I think, wasn't it Glad the first clear this week took about 8 hours to do it?
Mm-hmm.
And it was extremely hard to do. I don't understand, right? The Grandmaster Nightfalls are, is it 1100 power cap, and you have to be 1075 to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why don't they just do the contest mode that they did with the raids and just say, well, you can be 1065 as an entry point, but this is going to be 1090 power level. It's still the same power disproportion. Things are still going to hit you harder. You're not going to go, even if you're 1066, you're not going to do any more damage than when you were 1075. I think they need to lower the bar a little bit more for people that actually do want to go in and see if they can do it, but aren't able to grind as much as like people like Glad that can get up to 1075 the first week or even the second week.
You can't use the Titan Invincibility God mode to do it because you're not high enough light.
But see, I and Blue will jump in and correct me when he listens to this when it comes out, because Blue Screen has drug Pan and I through some of these. This content isn't for us. This content is for the streamers and the people who can play 8 hours a day, every single day, and grind through their season pass. These are the people who are done with things, that are looking for more of a challenge that either don't want to or can't or have already burned themselves out on raids. This content isn't for us. And I mean, while I agree with you, it would be nice if it were more accessible, but just like getting 6 people together to get through a raid, this content is for people that are at the point where they can do that and realistically get to that point. Because I think,
if they want something like that, then why don't they have a selection for the contest mode? So, say if Glad is at 1075, why not have a mode for Glad people to go up to 1110, 1120? Test their skills. I don't care. Give them more rewards at that point. But why not have you can still have access to the Grandmasters to have a chance at getting that, more loot, as they've put it, at a more reasonable level for people that are playing the game to get into. I played quite a lot of hours. I mean, my season pass is over 100. I think it's about 120, and we're like 5 weeks in now. Listening to other podcasts like the Guardian Down, Guardian Hub, some of those guys, I think Gator's over 100 anyway, but some of those are kind of averaging about 50 on their season pass, like you, Parody. It's just the natural progression. But then people like me
that.
Hey, I'm maybe at 60 something now, maybe.
But you know what I mean. You are playing and enjoying the game, so your power level, you may be at about 1061, 1062. So you're not at the point of being able to get into the Grandmasters at this point. But then there is a potential for when you get to 1065.
Why you him, dude?
Because it's true. I'm not. Nothing he's saying is wrong. Like, I'm not at the. I'm just now thinking about stepping into the prophecy dungeon, because wasn't that like 1040 or 1050 or something? Yeah, I think I'm currently sitting at 1058. I think I could theoretically be a little higher than that, maybe 1060 if I try. But that's the thing. I play. I think this week I played for 2 hours. Maybe I got my Ruinous Effigy and did my means to an end quest, and that's really it. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton to do with the game. I'm not looking for any more challenge. I'm not looking for sitting for 8 hours banging my head against the wall. That's a frozen raid. That's not a Nightfall. And if I was doing that, the Nightfall is not the reward I'm looking for at all.
No. But it was just something I'd throw out there to, if people from Bungie are listening, or if anybody else agrees or disagrees with me, let us know. But I think that more people that are able to access these things without completely grinding your life away. I mean, like I said, I played the game X amount of hours, and I've got to a point where I'm now kind of waiting on rolls from doing like prophecy and doing the weekly so that I can get my pinnacle rewards to boost my power level up, or my artifact. But it's now just a waiting game to as and when I can get to 1075 to potentially get in. But I don't understand, because that contest mode is active. Why not just bring it down 10 points? It makes no difference at that point, because you've put the contest mode in there to stop people from over leveling. So it just gives more people access at 1075. Because I haven't been doing the pinnacle stuff. I've been doing other stuff. But my season pass is at a reasonable rank. My artifact is at a seasonable rank. It's just...
he's been running around and playing catch-up, because there's... back when I had time in my life to play video games, I would look at this delay not as, I don't get new content sooner. It's like, okay, let me go and finish up all the crap that I didn't have time to do, didn't want to do, because I was on the Destiny content treadmill.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff, like you said, you're going for the Reckoner title. I mean, how many seasons has that been in the game? But now you've got some time to say, okay, I've sort of done the current stuff. The new stuff is coming later. Let me go back and do a thing that I wanted to do and just focus on that for a while. There's a billion things to do in this game. Now you have a little bit of breathing room to get them done.
I mean, that's what I've kind of been focused on, which is why in the tips and tricks in the last couple of weeks, I've been throwing out the guides for the raids. And then when I've done the raids and all the different things that I found with people's nifty little tricks that they've kind of come up with, or they found out or passed along, of how to do different encounters faster and easier, I've then put that in last week's ones. I mean, this week I joined a group that were farming for the dog section on the Callus, because you can get unlimited amounts of drops in there for weapons and armor that are, well, the armor is anyway, viable for the next couple of seasons, going for the next year. So they're just farming the dogs in the Leviathan raid to get high stat gear to go for the next year. So there are a lot of things that are going on at the moment, like there's a lot of people doing the Sparrow racing in Scourge of the Pass to get the Sparrow. ODST, hate you.
Did you have an issue with the dogs? I remember last week Fuzzco and Respawn saying all the issues they had, all the errors they had. Section with
we were also doing prestige mode too.
Right. But I mean, still, the raid being broken is the raid being broken. I imagine. I assume that's prestige only.
We looked into it. We did some research, and apparently prestige is more buggy in some areas than the regular raid.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Question stands. Did you have problems with it, or was it more or less okay?
No, it is buggy, and I know the section that he's talking about. But what I want to kind of point out to people is, if you are trying to farm for the catalysts for, say, the Sleeper Simulant, the Telesto, the what else was there? There was Skyburners and Acreus, that was it. So if you are farming for those, you can only do like each encounter and each chest once on those characters. You can continually play the raids over and over again to get the armor and the weapons to drop, which in some cases are still viable for the next year, which is why people are doing like Leviathan over and over. But you can only kind of do like there was a group that are advertising to do the opening for the Spire of Stars on Prestige this week, because it was 2 auto rifles and then anything in your heavy slot. And they were doing the ball throwing round the first room, and then they were changing over the characters, and they only did it like the 3 times, because you can only do that once on each character for each week to see if you can get the catalysts. That's the only problem about this forever farming at the moment. There are a lot of people like me that haven't got the catalysts. So that's what I've been kind of trying to do, even though I know come November, Bungie will go, oh, by the way, you can just pick up that catalyst from Banshee in the corner. You're like, oh. But you know what I mean? It's just...
That's what I'm hoping.
But at the moment, it's given me something to do, and it's good fun. And the section you were talking about last week on the podcast, Respawn, I did put it in the tips, tricks, and guides, and I don't know if you called it because you don't listen to the show. But there is a trick to do
like that.
There is a trick to doing the Callus Void Room and not having to have anybody jump in or out, and you don't have to jump over the barriers or do anything like that, as long as you've got a Black Talon sword. Did you know this one?
I do not know that one, no.
Okay, so...
And before you get on to me, I have been listening to the shows, and I was going to listen to this show today while I was out mowing my lawn.
Okay.
Ass.
I'll explain it to you now.
But...
So, what you have to do is 3 people normally go into the Void Room, and the person on the outside who melees one of the scions in the bubble, comes in and swaps randomly for somebody that comes out. And Respawn was saying last week he was having issues with the swapping in and out. People were dying coming in. The barriers weren't there. You were kind of just floating off, weren't you, into like thin air.
Yep.
So what I found out that people have been doing is you take a Black Talon, 3 people, and as long as you kill those scions that are in the balls as you are kind of being pulled down towards Callus, you should be fine to stay in there. And now what the trick is to kind of turn around and slash away from you being sucked into Callus's mouth. You don't need to do any of the call-outs. You just need to bide your time as you're going down the end. And as long as you're taking out those scions that are floating in the balls and maybe killing the other ones that are kind of throwing things at you, as long as you do that and you keep slashing with your sword, you should be fine, because Callus ends up sucking you at one point so that he can then spit the skulls out at the end. So you can just swap to your auto rifles and whatever. But you've just used the Black Talon to kind of slice and keep yourself momentum going forward. So it was really, really cool, because you can use the Black Talon's projectiles at a distance to kill those scions in the ball. So if all 3 of you are kind of focused on doing that, you won't wipe, you won't get sucked out of the void room, and then you can have 3 other people in the throne room that are just focused on DPS. You get in there, and then you can just take Callus out like in the 4 plates. It's a lot easier than some of the other things that have been going on.
The 2 people that start off down there at the bottom, because I understand the guy that swaps in, yeah, he just keeps swiping the sword or whatever. But the guys that are still there that haven't swapped out yet need the walls. Otherwise, they do.
No, you don't. No, you don't. This is what I'm saying. You don't need the walls. You don't do any of the call-outs, and you don't need the walls.
I'll have to watch the video, because I get what you're saying in concept, but like in practice, I'm just like, what? I'll have to watch the video.
Well, as you're being sucked towards Callus, if you turn around with your back to him and slice away, your momentum's carrying you forward. You're not being dragged towards him. Yeah, I mean, you can turn around and then throw the projectiles at the 2 scions as you're kind of floating down. But then there's 3 of you that are focused on killing those. I mean, in the video that I posted last week, one of the guys pops his super, and he's an Arc Staff hunter, and all he did was kind of do that and dodge, and he kept himself in the arena. It was really fantastic to see. I think it's something that Glad had done when he soloed the area when he did it himself, and they've just kind of taken that and run with it and gone, you know what, if we have the Black Talon, you need the Black Talon, you can't really use any other sword, because when you get towards the end, you have the 3 scions that spawn near his mouth, and you kind of need to take those out to stop him from kind of sucking you. You could potentially do it with another sword, but I'd recommend the Black Talon.
Yeah, but then it just leaves the question. Like I said, I'll have to watch the video, because that leaves the question about boss damage. What do you use for boss damage? And how, like, if you run out of heavy, like if you're using primary weapons and special weapons for boss damage, you might not be able to kill the boss in one phase, which means you're going to need a second phase, which means you're going to need more heavy ammo. And if you're out, you're done. Let's
say, for instance, you've got, say, a warlock with a well.
Okay.
You're kind of adding towards your thing. Say that the 3 guys that are in the void are like Celestial Nighthawks. 3 Celestial Nighthawks. 3 of those take down Callus very quickly, don't they, at the moment? And then there's 6 of you doing DPS on him. They can all use Divinity, whatever else you can kind of think of. Xenophage. If you have a
Black Talon, you can't use Divinity.
No, but no, not the people that are in the void. The other 3 people that are out in the throne room can have like the Xenophage, the Divinity.
Oh, wait. So you're saying that you don't switch out at all?
No, you don't.
Oh, okay. All right.
You just keep yourselves alive in the void, and then wait till you get to the skull killing thing. Pull out your auto rifles and go to town.
At all. I got you.
No.
Okay, pieces are falling into place. All right.
Which, when you get a whole team on the same level that know what they're doing, you can do that boss fight very, very quickly and very, very easily. And that's what I was finding. I mean, the last couple of weeks, there's a lot of people with the falling guillotine and cheesing Riven's foot. Have you seen this going on? They put a bubble.
I've done that.
Put a bubble at the side, drop a well right by Riven's foot, throw a void suppressor grenade on him, and just use the falling guillotine. 6 people chopping at his foot. That damage phase is done. You get through the void bit, you shoot his mouth, and there you are. You're at the heart. And then it's just like the rest of the Queen's Walk. So there's little things like that are just joining these raid groups over the last couple of weeks have been very, very interesting to see how these raids have evolved and how all the little tips and tricks that I've picked up on the way. So that's what I've kind of been doing, which has been very, very interesting.
There's other ways to do that too with the sword. You could also use Titan Bubble with a Well of Radiance. People have been using the Wither Horde. Believe it or not, right before Riven comes in, you shoot the ground. When she comes in, you shoot her, and then you start attacking her with the sword. There's all kinds of ways to do the Riven cheese with the sword. But yeah, that is the de facto cheese at the moment is her foot.
Night Demon, you think I'm kidding, but I'm not.
No, he knows you're not kidding. I've told him many times I've fallen asleep to his voice while he's talking. Yeah. He knows.
Just like a loon when he keeps saying Cal is sucking me. That's all. So.
Nice. But yeah, okay. So, where the hell are we right now? Golly.
I've just been throwing questions out because I've been missing for 2 weeks. There's so much information that I've got stored up in my brain and so much stuff I want to talk about. It's like, I just need to get it out there. So I know you guys didn't actually talk about it, but it's quite interesting how we've now moved from September release to November for Beyond Light.
We did talk about it. We said we approve as long as they come out with a game that's not buggy.
Yes, no, that's fine. But what are they going to do with the rest of the seasons? Are we going to end up having all the seasons squashed up? So it's going to panic you like February will kind of go, right, we take a month off of what would have been a 3 or 4 month season just to squeeze it all in the year? Or does the year now run from November to November? What do you think is going to happen?
November to November, it could run longer than that. If they start to take longer, because right now they're like you just said, squash being the key word. They're squashing stuff into the game for the YouTubers so they don't get bored or whatever, right? But I'm okay with them taking extra time. Make a season.
No, that's fine.
Months,
but
5 months, whatever.
What I'm saying is, you remember last September we were meant to have Shadowkeep come out. And then it was pushed back to the beginning of October, so that it gave them an extra 2 weeks leeway. So we lost 2 weeks as that beginning season, which I remember Parody saying that it seemed to be for him. At that point, he was able to play a lot more. It seemed quite compressed, and you needed to do a lot more stuff in that shorter space of time. Are we going to end up being like that and having a compressed seasons for the next year? Or is it going to be, don't worry, we're just going to stretch it out and it's just going to be November to November? And if that's the case, then with like deals with the Microsoft, do they kind of extend and run over because you're not getting the full year, or does it not matter at that point because they're bringing Shadowkeep Forsaken in September with the Ultimate? I mean, that is something that we now know because of what's happened with the deal. But I was just curious about what you thought about, is it going to be compressed seasons down to like 2.5 months, 3 months, rather than like the 4 months that we're getting at the moment?
Like I was saying before, I hope not. Those compressed seasons we don't know how long that they've been playing catch up from the whole Activision split, right? So I'm hoping that from at least this point forward, none of that catch up, none of that squashing seasons, none of that nonsense. If you run behind schedule, that's just the new schedule, man. You know, because I don't want to have to rush to do stuff because that makes the game not fun. For me, anyway. Other people might have a different opinion, but honestly, I hope not. I hope they don't squish anything. Just let it run its course, or skip a season, save a season for next year or something. You know, hey, you know, we've had so many drawbacks. We were gonna have, you know, let's say Darkness Rises. I'm just saying a name, right? Darkness Rises was going to be at the end of the year, but with all the delays, now we have to push it to next year. Okay, fine. I'm cool with that. As long as, you know, I still get enough content for what the money I've put into the game gives me. That makes no sense. I hope you know what I'm trying to say. As long as I get my monetary value out of what they give me, I don't care if they move something from one season to another or push a season or whatever, right?
I would just love to see them go to, instead of, you know, three seasons, or I'd like to see them stretch the seasons out more.
Yeah.
And not, you know, and I think I'm really curious because this is post Destiny Content Vault. This is post them taking a ton of stuff, a ton of legacy code and dependencies out of the game. So it's going to be in a lot of ways, you know, this is going to be sort of a Destiny 3 in a lot of ways of a lot of things have changed, and they're going to squash a lot of bugs. There are going to be a lot of new bugs. there's going to be things they've removed that they're, I've tested and looked at, but there's going to be stuff that's going to interact in a weird way. But I'm hopeful that because they're not dealing with so much extra cruft and crap and legacy code for 4 years, that they're going to be able to, deliver on some of the stuff, do some more bug testing, build some things. They're going to be better experiences all the way around. Even if it is a compressed amount of time, the experiences will be better. We're not going to see the rollbacks. We're not going to see as many delays of content because something in the game is broken. But I mean, I feel like the pace of stuff, even back when I had loads of time to play, or now when I have no time to play, I still feel like the pace of the game is good. There's always stuff to do. Yeah, if you've burned through the whole season in the first month and you're going, well, what do I do for the next 2 months? That's on you. There's stuff to do and play catch up on, or there's stuff to do in your life. Figure it out. But I feel like the pace has always been good. So I think the pace is good. I just hope that, even if we have a little bit of a compressed season, which I'm going to guess are going to compress the season, because I'm going to assume that these big timetables are, like you said, based on Game Pass, based on other things, even though they're not beholden to Activision. There's deals in place, there's content in place, there's long-term planning in place that rely on these touchstones, on these points of this has to happen by this date or else this other thing can't happen. So I'm hoping our pace more or less stays the same. And if we lose a week or two here and there, I mean, a 2 week push and a 6 week push, that's a little different. They're just expanding our current season out more. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see, and I think some of it just depends on what's in these new content drops. Because I mean, we're getting a new subclass in the game, which I almost sort of feels like it's sort of glossed over. Of we're significantly expanding what you can do with your character from day one, because you're going to have a whole new subclass to play with and a whole new set of trees to explore and things to build on.
And to bring that in, I'm hoping beyond hope that it also changes how our current subclasses work. Maybe more like a D1 type of subclass system is going to come out.
They have talked about that, and I'm guessing, well, they're either going to put it into the new subclass first, because it's built on the new system before they port everything over, from the old subclass system. But I think, if they bring it in, because they've already said they want to give us more choices, where it's not just A, B, or C. It's let me build this out with this different skill set, with this different perk set. That's coming to the game, but it's not. It's going to be a slow process. I basically look at Destiny sort of from this point and like November onward as like their Crucible rebuild of and the things they said. We're working on the foundation. We're getting that sturdy first. Then we're going to make an amazing game on top of it, as opposed to continuing to try to prop up the foundation that's leaky and rotten, and there's a hurricane coming. Oh, and then we have termites. Oh, and it's flooded again. It's going to be in a better spot, but it's going to be a growing pain while they get there. There's going to be a lot of people, gnashing the teeth and screaming about, oh, they're taking our content away. Oh, they're going to do it. Now it's gone. Give it a minute. You're going to have more stuff to do. Just give it a minute.
And I'm with you on that. I'm so... don't get me wrong. I know people like Cheese and all these other guys, they have... This is their job. This is their livelihood. And I totally get that, and I totally respect it. But on that same note, I'm sick and tired of them hearing about, oh, well, Destiny's dry, there's no content in Destiny, and yada, 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 yada. And then Destiny playing to those guys, pushing stuff out that isn't ready or buggy or however you want to say it, because it's all of those things and then some, right? And just pushing something out just so the YouTubers shut up about the game going dry. You know what? Let it go dry. Come up with new content. Show run content about you running somebody through a raid, right? Not just like, here, 10 steps to do a raid, and here, 1, 2, and 3. No, actually show you running them through the raid, That way, I mean, who knows, right? There's all kinds of ideas you can come up with that doesn't depend on Destiny coming out with new content. There's a lot of stuff to do in the game already that you can do, and I'm just tired of hearing them whine about it. And Destiny caving to their demands, as it were, right?
Someone's been listening to Candy Cakes over there who put out a video last week or week before saying, trials carries and all this, but it would be so much more valuable to like run people through trials and run people through things and give them better ways to play and do like teaching sessions and stream that, giving people skills of, I could just carry you to this trials win, or I could actually make you a better player. Let's sit and play, an hour or 2 hours of trials. see how our team works, see how our team communicates, and stream that sort of as like, a big like learning experience for other folks to do it in terms of content.
Yeah, I've never watched Cammy Cakes. I don't know what she does, but it's just good. It's just good advice. It's a guy.
Yeah,
sorry, I don't know what he does. But
a lot of trials were, he stepped away from trials for the time being because of all talked about with trials and PC and everything. But he's a phenomenal trials player who does a lot of live commentary of like, he'll put videos where like, here's me in this, PvP match and sort of like walk you through sort of like what Abantis does with his Nightfalls of here's what I'm doing, here's why I'm doing it. He'll do that in PvP.
Like PvP tutorial kind of thing?
Yeah, like he'll put up the gameplay footage and then he'll go back and do a voiceover of, I assume it's not in the moment of it live, and more power to you, like Abantis does for running these Nightfalls 1,000 times. But he'll go back and say like, here's why I chose to engage in this gunfight. Here's why I backed off. Oh, here's a mistake I made. I pushed when I shouldn't, or I did this and I shouldn't. Actually giving you sort of those teachable moments of like, here's an example of this thing in the game. Here's why this was good or bad. And actually using it, making content that make people better by watching, going, okay, here's some tips I can pick up, or just some ways to play, or just disengaging from gunfights. There's nothing wrong with running away and letting your health come back.
Man, first of all, on PC, that is
new stuff.
All they do.
Right. And that's what separates them from us.
Yeah. But okay, so I guess this is a person I should pay attention to. So my bad, Cammy Cakes, for calling you a girl, but I mean Cammy Cake. It sounds like a girl's name. My bad. But
that's what I found quite interesting. That's what I found quite interesting about looking at the going in and doing these raids and seeing these little tips and tricks that other groups are kind of passing along to each other that I haven't seen in like the big YouTubers videos. There isn't a video of MTash going, right, if you do this, this and this, you can then skip this, and do this, and this will make working with your group easier. I found a little known YouTube video by somebody that's kind of gone, well, we did it this way and this is what people are doing, just to show other people how it's being done. But if the streamers and the YouTubers were taking groups through and going, right, we're going to do it like this because this is an easier way now to do it like this, or use these weapons, do this, do that, I would find much more helpful than kind of the guides that have just been out there for 5 months that we've kind of rehashed or we've re-looked at and gone, go and follow these, this is how to do it. But that was how to do it 5 months, 6 months, a year ago when it first came out. There are new strats, there are new weapons, there are new ways of doing it.
Absolutely.
Unless you get into the games and actually play the raids, you don't know what's actually happening. And LFGs in the last couple of weeks have exploded with a lot of people. I've came across a lot of people that were saying, my clan are doing raid carries, we're doing this, we're doing that. So there are a lot of really nice people out there that are actually just jumping into people that are saying, we need help, we need instructions. So if you do want to go and try and jump into one of these LFG groups, say to people, just message them if they are doing a group and there's 5 of them, say, can you teach me? I'm eager to learn. It does work, and people are there helping each other at the moment, trying to get other people through. And it's really nice to see, especially on Xbox at the moment, to see those kind of people help each other out.
You already said this, my bad. My computer went to sleep and my mic cut out, or my headphones cut out. But what I was thinking is, let's use Crown of Sorrow as an example, right? If the YouTubers went over all the new ways to do things, that's more content right there. Like when I went to Crown of Sorrow for the first time, the last time I had done this is pre-grenade launcher nerf, right? So I didn't know what to do, and they're like, oh, well, we use, for example, the Outbreak Perfected is still a very viable option inside Crown of Sorrow, which I wouldn't have thought of. It's like, wow, I thought that would have been like gone a long time ago. But no, if everybody has one, you can still damn near one phase the boss, right? And another thing that I didn't know is the heavy shotgun, the
Acreus.
Thank you. If everybody has the Acreus, damn it, and you remember to shoot the hands and you get the 3 damage phases, you in one phase. Crown of Sorrow final boss.
That's the one I was telling you about when we were in there.
Yeah, but I knew that already because I had already done that. done that strat with everybody in the party having one inside of Well of Radiance with the Bubble Titan behind us and a freaking suppression grenade. We one-faced them. I was like, that I never would have thought to use Legend of Acreus on Crown of Sorrowboss, because no YouTubers out there saying this crap, right? We have to find out from other people that have just discovered this along the way. So if YouTubers are running out of content, show us all the different ways to do the existing content, and there's your content for future videos.
Like when we use Queensbreaker on Scourge.
Queensbreaker on Scourge. I didn't know that, and it did a hell of damage.
There you go. So I know you guys have highlighted what's coming up next week in Destiny, but I'm thinking that possibly the week after is going to be Iron Banner, because we're coming up to a whole month without an Iron Banner, and we like to have an Iron Banner literally every month. So I'm thinking the week before we hit the solstice, so the beginning of August, I think this is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get Mayhem, which we haven't had in a while, so Iron Banner.
Yeah, Mayhem this week, isn't it? And then on Tuesday, the 4th of August, I reckon we're going to have an Iron Banner. And then the week after, we've got the first week of the Solstice of Heroes kickoff. So that's quite an interesting thing. We've got a good couple of things to keep us going in the next couple of weeks.
Do we know the exotic weapon that's coming with that?
It's the sidearm, isn't it?
The Traveler's Choke.
That one.
Traveler's Choice. Which we could go over, but, I won't bore you to death with the 20, I believe there's 23 steps to that quest of going backwards and forwards to planets and talking to different vendors and doing different things.
Yeah, the first part was very disappointing. Trip around the world, go here, talk to them. It's like, it wasn't hard, it was just time consuming.
Well, it was boring because when I finished it, I'm like, now what? Nothing.
Then phase
one, nothing.
The first part's done. Second part's time gated. Enjoy.
But what's actually quite funny is that now we've had the extension of Season of Arrivals, and this being pushed till November for Beyond Light, that Festival has been snuck back in there at the end of October or in October, which means that Mercury with the Haunted Forest, it gets to stay around with the Haunted Forest. They managed to sneakily keep that one in, which coincidentally Mercury will be hanging around for an extra month. So luckily we can go back there for the Haunted Forest again. I wonder what they would have done if the launch window had gone from September. Mercury would have disappeared. So they're obviously going to do something with Trials. Not sure what they're going to do with Trials at the moment, with where you go and get your loot from. But then, like with the Festival of the Lost, where would that have gone? Because we had that Haunted Forest. It's now just kind of lucky that we've got the pushback.
You say that, but what if we're just having the Haunted Forest somewhere else? You ever stop to think about that?
That takes more time.
What if you went to the Dark Forest on the EDZ?
That's what I'm saying. The EDZ, EAZ's got a lot of trees. There's a forest there somewhere.
You two don't know what you're saying with EDZ and EAZ, do you?
No.
EDZ, Dark Forest, when you first go.
Bless you.
I'm still saying you launch it from the tower and it takes you there as a standalone instance, and then you're done. Who needs
that too? Yeah.
I think it did do that, didn't that?
They hit an entire dungeon in the tower. Who knows what else is laying down there?
And the other question I wanted to bring up with you guys, very quickly. I know we talked about the Icolosh shotguns and sniper rifles being available for engrams and doing prophecy dungeons, which is quite nice that we've got an updated version for the next year that people have a chance to go and farm for, basically.
What's the question?
But what's going to happen with... I know our exotics are staying with us forever at the moment anyway. So you've got the Mida mini tool, the scout rifle, and you've got the Sturm hand cannon. What's happening with their part?
The multi-tool is the scout rifle. We know what you meant, though. Yeah. So you have the multi-tool and then the Strom. What's going to happen to the Drang and the mini-tool, right?
Yeah, what's going to happen to those weapons? Because they're not being brought forward. And those are the weapons that pair with those other weapons to give them an extra...
Can't you get new versions from the Menagerie?
You can, but they are...
Not currently.
They're not current light, are they? They will stop at 1060.
They'll probably make them current light from the Menagerie at that point. I mean, they'd have to. I mean, that's the whole point of those. Well, we said the Strum and Drain. That's the whole point of that weapon. But we had the multi-tool for years before we even had the mini-tool. So that could just get phased out and you still have the multi-tool. But the Strum and Drain, their exotic perks specifically reference each other, right? Not exotic perks, but they're unique.
The unique perks. That's what I'm confused about. But they said that our current exotics will stay the same, but the extra bonuses that they get from those legendaries help them in certain situations or vice versa. So it's just quite interesting that they haven't actually come out and addressed that yet.
Yeah, I did a Scourge of the Past with a guy running the Strum and something else that wasn't the Drain, and the Strum still did
Sturm,
whatever. The Sturm still did hella boss damage. Like, you'd have thought that he was using the Whisper of the Worm because he did just as much damage as he would have done with the Whisper of the Worm with all those extra damage rounds. I'm just like, that's insane, dude. And if you would not have told me, I never would have guessed you were using the freaking Strum, drummer.
Strum is what you do on a guitar. Sturm is the thing you shoot.
Sturm, the Sturm for boss damage. I never would have guessed it. So I mean, yeah, there are other ways to proc the Sturm's perk without having to use the Drain because that's what he did. So I don't know. Maybe they'll just go with that.
I know we're running a bit long in the tooth today for our podcast, but do you want to take us? Do you want to take us through Respawn's report roundup?
Extra bits of news. We're going to start with Lupo.
Dr. Lupo.
Is SRL coming back? SRL meaning Sparrow Racing League, for those of you that never got to experience the glory that is Sparrow Racing. Luke responds, nothing to talk about right now. I don't know, is that supposed to be like a curse word? I do ... that people miss it. I think that it's a good question. Keep asking.
Yeah, it's just cutting out words that are unimportant to shorten this.
Lupo, do we have an expectation of yes or no with the timing when it comes to dedicated servers in PvP at a higher tick rate? And of course, he didn't respond to that. Thank you, Houndish, for that tidbit. It's from Houndish's site. That's why I got to give him credit. That way he doesn't sue us or attack us, even though his older personality's in here with us. Moving on. Sustained, Precision, and Swift charge mods are currently bugged. When you load into an activity, you have to unequip them and then re-equip them in order to get the mods to work. Same thing if you die. You have to unequip and re-equip to get them to work. However, interestingly, the secondary perk of the sustained charge will still work, or at least proc, on your screen after death. Source. My upload speed blows. Shout out to Living Rule. Give me a week to upload my next clip. He's got 2 clips here, which I cannot click on. I'll take Rule and slow speeds over City any day. That's by the way, these things I'm reading don't have anything to do with it. Absolutely. I wouldn't give it up at all. The slow speeds just suck sometimes. When
just read what Cosmo says to them.
Butt kicked on Crucible. Lol. And Cosmo, true to his word, says, we'll look into this. Take a drink. Thanks for the what do we have here? Cosmo commented on probably already mentioned bring back post PvP reward screens.
Yes.
It has been mentioned, but can we let the team know it's still being... Sorry, but we can let the team know it's still being asked for. Take another drink. What is he referring to? Post PvP reward screens.
Back in D1, you would see the results, and then you would see who got what rewards.
Oh, that I see.
So you could scream at the blueberry who got killed like Pan. We call this the panoramics problem. You'd scream at the guy at the bottom of the ranking who gets the exotic drop you were looking for as you're sitting at the top or near the top with doing good work.
Yeah, I remember.
Hey, you did 1 damage to the boss. Use your Galahorn.
Yeah.
Something.
Precisely.
Double redacted found in API. I use this, it's a link to destinysets.com, to scour the API. I searched up the term double and found 2 interesting sandbox perks. Double XP Season Pass and Double XP Artifact. These are the modifiers that are meant to apply in a similar way to how Well Rested applies. Speaking of which, I also checked Well Rested, and I found the one we have right now, plus another version, which applies for the first 7 levels rather than 5. Typical of Bungie. It's totally possible that these sandbox perks are ancient relics from development of Shadowkeep, but I couldn't find any way to determine when they were added to the API. Light.gg manifest history doesn't like to mess with sandbox perks from my searching. If anyone, absolutely anyone, I mean even you, Joe Schmo, anybody has a way to figure out when they were added, that could be the key to determining if these are actually new additions or just old perks lying around. There is no response to this. Also from Houndish's site.
This is to do with like the double XP for the season pass and double XP for the artifact, where they were saying, oh, because the seasons are now prolonged, we're going to give you increased valor, we're going to give you increased infamy and increased redacted. So they're now surmising that it might be the double XP on the artifact and the season pass.
Possibly. You just read the next 3 slides, so moving past. SGA, important info if you pre-ordered Beyond Light on PlayStation Network. So I just got an email asking if I'd like to keep my pre-order, and it stated that if I didn't respond by a certain time, they would automatically refund my purchase. So look out for this email. If you pre-ordered otherwise, you might run into some issues. The date it said the refund would be given was July 26th. It might be different for others. So our PlayStation users, keep an eye. The Twitch Prime loot page. This is from JP Death Blade. The Twitch Prime loot page for Destiny has 10 months now instead of 6. Here's the next 2 loot pools. First one goes live on July 22nd. The next one goes live a month later. When the manifest updates with more, I'll let you know. Also, Eververse should get more weeks soon, TM. So we already know this week where we have the tractor cannons. Next week, apparently, is the standoff, the Neon Helix Shell, the Vespulsar Sparrow, and Edge-01X ship.
Nothing you care about.
No.
What you're collecting.
Evan F1997. So, at Damage and Cosmo, Merciless perk just does not work. Not sure if this is known, but this exotic is legendary right now. Damage 4 is wearing a mask. You
should too.
Yep. Team is aware and looking into it. Take a drink.
Do you have any lore to go over?
Yeah, I can go over
or can I skip to tips, tricks, guides, and builds?
Let's do some more. I promised him last week. I'll make it a quick one. All right, guys. We're going to be talking more about Cade because we haven't even finished him yet because we keep skipping lore weeks. My bad. What the hell's going on? I clicked it. Tread Patrol.
Paw Patrol.
Hold on.
Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol.
2 hours later.
Well, no, the links are taking me to like other things that are going on here.
Got me a new computer and I don't know how it works.
This is on my phone, not my computer. Thank you.
Got me a phone. Don't know how it works.
Accurate. How far did we get in the first one? Did we get to Cade and the Fallen? Yeah, we did. We did read that.
All people, we're Titans. We don't read.
We didn't even follow it. All right, here we go. Here we go. First one. Ace of Spades. All right. Folding was never an option by Cade 6. The last will and testament of Cade 6. To whomst it may concern. I, Cade 6, being of sound-ish mind and body, do hereby leave, and henceforth, and heretofore, leave all my possessions to the person, alien, animal, or a natural phenomenon what kills me. Aforesaid, Jesus Christ. I remember him saying this, but reading it is so much harder. Okay. Aforesaid possessions include, but are not limited to, the Ace of Spades, any and all stashes I've hidden throughout the system, the Colonel, my faithful friend, who Respawn got the name wrong, my bad, my debts, which follow. The attached file is too big to download. The hell? Is that literally it? What? Stand by. Yo, these are just the things that are the weapons and armor. Man, why did you tell me to come here? This isn't like... This is like a script from what they said in game. I'm not a fan of that. Either I'm not reading the Ishtar Collective correctly, or I'm missing something, or what. But none of these are what I'm looking for. Oh, hold on. Here we go.
You've put your own nail in the coffin. I think I'm just going to have to get Not to come on and do his own lore section. Just retire you.
I just need to figure out how
I think you've proven that you're not dedicated to this.
Shut up.
Get by.
He's too expensive.
That sounds like a suds.
No, my problem is not knowing how to read. Because I'd love to read this to everybody, because some of these even have stuff that I don't even know about. So I would love to share this information with people. But I just need a better source than this. Because even when I go down to like 27 records of Cade, this one is just mostly talking about Ikora. I don't even see where Cade's even in here, you know?
So while we wait for that, did you know there is an emblem that everybody can have access to called the Visionary Emblem, which is a Trials of Osiris looking one? And it was available through, I believe, through one of the comic books that was released a couple of years back, and everybody went mad and everybody got the emblem. But I saw a lot of posts on YouTube and Instagram saying only 30% of players have got this emblem. You must get it. So this is a code that everybody can use over and over again. So if you haven't got it, you can try it. Okay, you ready? Get your pens, paper ready.
Yeah.
X-Ray, Foxtrot, Victor, Kilo, Hotel, Papa. November 97. So there's a free emblem for everybody. If you haven't already seen it on YouTube or somewhere else.
I've got some more pages from my book.
From your book? You have a book?
My Destiny comic collection. It's Cryptarch on the farm. Some of our...
Well, I'm more concerned with the...
This just sounds like the worst kind of... No,
cut off Paul's crap. I don't think I'm using the Star Collective, because I don't like how they
appreciate you trying, AC, but it just him with his I'm getting stressed at reading one or two pages.
No, I'm not stressed about reading the pages. I'm stressed that they don't have the information readily available to read it like it should be read. Yeah. All these things that are on the Star Collective are like referencing Cade, right? Which I get, like, because Cade is having a conversation with somebody. He just happens to be there. But it's nothing to do with like him as a guardian. It's just like a mission that he was in or whatever, you know. Okay. So the Ishtar Collective goes way too in depth. So hold on.
Respawn wants to read the autobiography of Cade.
Yes, and all the other people while we're talking about it, you know, give you insights into who they are. There we go. So I'm going to go back to the original thing that I was using before.
Okay.
Yeah.
We tried, Nalarf. We tried.
We did. Yes. No, because I'm going back to the original wiki. I like how they have it laid out. So sorry, whoever suggested the Ishtar Commander whatever wiki thing. Thanks. It's got a lot of unnecessary information, but I just want them and only them. So give me a call. Show me how to read that the way that you do. But for now, we're sticking to this. So Cade 6's personality. Here we go. I'm pretty sure we all know how his personality is, but we're going to read it anyway. Despite his diligence to his work, he longed for the opportunity to get back into combat. After speaking with Cade 6 in Destiny, he would sometimes say things like, I need to get back in the field, or even whisper, hey, take me with you. Further reinforcing this idea, he was also a gambler, placing bets on the outcome of several events. Despite being a skilled hunter, Cade 6 is oftentimes facetious and makes flippant. Why the would you restart?
Who?
My app took me way back to the top of the page while I was reading. Sorry.
I need you to say it again.
Cade 6 is oftentimes facetious and makes flippant remarks, even in the face of his own demise. By the way, if you're going to go out, one hell of a way to go out. I digress. However, when aggravated, he abandons his carefree demeanor and becomes more thoughtful and even vengeful. Ooh, imagine a vengeful Cade, right? Cade's human appearance before he was turned into an exo is unknown. He was transferred right around the collapse, supposedly being part of a deal to get him out of debt. He does not remember the facility where he was transformed. Well, other than it was cold and a dark place with lots of pain. Although the man they called Cade, as well as several Grimoire cards, can be gathered that when he was resurrected, he awoke to nothing but sadness, loneliness, and pain. The destroyed journal he kept of his life before becoming a guardian is the only hint as to who he was. And that's it for his personality, gentlemen. Tune in next week for more Dragon. I'm not going to do it.
So to take us out, we have got some tips, tricks, guides, and builds. First one is from Pause, Reset, and Play, and this is the Luxurious Toast emote and the catalyst for the Sleeper Simulant. Just a quick guide on how to do the first encounter in the Spire of Stars with a team on what to do, because again, some teams or some people need a refresher on where to stand, where to throw a ball, and this was quite funny because where I was doing it with the team this week and they were farming the opening chest for the catalyst, I got the exotic emote to drop even though I'd already done the Spire of Stars normal and got it to drop from the Triumph. It re-dropped from the opening chest. So if you can't get into a Spire of Stars to do a completion, then maybe you might be able to jump into one of these LFG teams that are like farming the opening of Spire of Stars on the prestige level. All you've got to do is kill a couple of ads, stand in the right place, catch a ball, stand on a pillar, and that's it. It's really easy, and a lot of teams are doing it just for see if they can get the catalyst to drop. So it might be worth a try. So Pause, Reset, Play has a little tutorial on how to do the opening. Froggy 618157725, our friend Froggy, has an out of bounds for the forfeit shrine of the Garden of Cilia challenge on the Dreaming City. That's what it is. So if you're looking for the Armkara bones or eggs, and he does specifically say it has to be the week that it's actually active to get the egg, you can kind of glitch into it and get the egg, and you can get the Armkara bones at any point, so you can glitch in there and do whatever you need to do. But it has to be an active week to get the egg. So he's got a way of getting in there without using any tinctures. If you don't have any tinctures, there's a way of getting in there. Respawn mentioned this one earlier from Cheese Forever. There's a God mode glitch with a Titan to help in the corrupted Nightfall or Grandmaster Nightfall. So there's a cheese for that to give yourself a bit of a God mode to take less damage. He's also got an insane Grandmaster Nightfall glitch with killing the boss or getting the boss down to a very extreme, like a pinprick of health. Have you guys seen this one? He only released this one today. You know the balls that you have to charge up and throw at the witch as she's kind of circling around on that first initial platform before she goes into the Ascendant realm?
Yeah.
You know that bit? Well, apparently, before you get there, the balls that you charge up on the elevator, you can duplicate over and over again, and you can carry those through and drop them at certain points and take them to that part of with the witches. And before it goes to the joining allies part, you can throw those balls that are charged at her, take her shield down, and get her within a slither of damage, then jump into the point where it kicks off that boss fight, and then just damage her within the first, I think it's 10 seconds, and kill her, and that's it. The strike's over and done with. You don't need to go through that ascendance thing. You don't need to get booped off. You don't need to charge up any other balls, as long as you can kind of carry these other balls through the map. And Cheese has got a guide of where to drop the balls as you're going through and keep the team alive to get them, so you've still got the charge ball to throw at her from distance. Sorry?
What encounter is this again? I zoned out, man. I'm sorry.
This is the Nightfall that's up this week. I can't remember the name of it, but it'll come. Okay. It'll come back up. Yeah, it'll come back up when it's they put it in the rotation where you can select it again, I guess, unless they kind of stop this.
Okay.
Because apparently you can't duplicate the balls in that area first. It'll only allow you to have one and throw it at her. But when you're on the elevator going up or down, whichever way it is, you can duplicate those balls that are charged and take those through the encounter with you. So I thought that was quite interesting. If anybody is trying out the Grandmasters, or even just take him in the Nightfalls and get it over and done with very quickly. Now, MTash has finally got his Godroll pulse rifle, the Redrick's broadsword, and he's got a couple of cool little tricks to help boost the reload speed and handling on kind of a bulky weapon for Hunter and Warlock. Nothing for the Titan, of course. But he's got a few little tips for using it in PvP. And then Cool Guy this week has got a Cold Denial in-depth review and what he recommends for perks for PvP and PvE. Really good, interesting, in-depth review of that. And then I know Ft.AZPlayz, and you guys mentioned it earlier, has got a Annoying Hunger Godroll guide. And he said that, yes, he knows that it's been out for some time, and he's mentioned it in one of his other guides, but this is more of an in-depth of, this is what you can do for console, this is what you can do for PC, and these are the recommended roles for. And again, there are various different roles for how you kind of, your play style is. And I think I've got couple of the good roles as well, which is quite nice. So that's worth a checking out. Then Plunder the Booty has got an infinite invisibility build for the Hunter for PvE. That's worth a watch. And then also today, I finished listening to the Massive Breakdown podcast, episode 170, which goes over the Exodus weapons for the engrams. So this is the Ikelos sniper and submachine gun that you can now re-roll, and the Behringer's memory and the shotgun, and they recommend some perks for god rolls in that. And released also just today is episode 171, which I'm going to listen to, but I'll put it in the show notes. They go over the stasis abilities for the preview that came out this week, and they go into a Crucible discussion, which is going to be very interesting to see from their take that we've kind of discussed over the last couple of weeks. And that's it for my tips, tricks, guides, and builds for this week.
Really?
Because I know you'll all kind of be doing the raids and getting what you kind of need to get done in the next couple of months.
Yes, that's exactly what we'll be doing. ...
And while I'm not going to read this on the show, I've got one more link for you, Night Demon, to throw in. It's actually a Twitter thread to steal Respawn's parlance of. Because I'm not going to put in the show because mostly nobody will care or understand. But Fletcher Dunn, who is a developer at Valve, wrote a deep dive into basically how they figured out what was going on with the Beaver errors and with the Steam peer-to-peer networking and how they fixed it. So it goes into sort of a deep dive on the technology used and things behind it, which most people won't understand, won't care, but it's absolutely fascinating. And in this thread, though, he does recommend, Night Demon, so you've done it correctly, having at least enough kids to fill out a full fire team. Because when you're trying to test and find bugs, you need to have enough children in your house to have a full fire team so you can continue testing. But no, it is a really interesting deep dive into how they got to the bottom of this error and how they figured out what was going on with it and then how to resolve it.
Is that link posted in Discord? Because I'd like to watch it.
Sure is.
It's in the Discord, and I'll put it in the show notes.
So
super nerdy. If anybody has anything else to add, tough, because it's now time for Parody to take us out of here.
Out of here!
It is. We've been to the end, friends. You've managed to stick around, which is more than Craig could. So I commend you for making it this far. And I'm devastated this week, though, to not be able to bring you real-time follow-up on how Pan's vault cleaning services went with Fuzco. So hopefully for next week, we will have some information and possibly grab Fuzco and or Pan on to tell us just how well Pan's vault cleaning service really works and if his vault is indeed sparkling clean and ready for the new seasons. But friends, thank you for joining us through the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs. Your Titans are Parody and Night Demon. Your Hunters are No One Responds in Real Life and AZPlayz1128. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. You can hit us up on Instagram and Facebook. Same place, you know where to find us. If you're looking for a raid group, we offer Raid Hindrance, Trials, Hurt, and Giggling. But if you're looking for a raid group and some competency, I invite you to hit up the lfg.frozen.party, and that's frozen with a 0, friends, as it should be. Because you will find a wonderful collaboration of people from the Guardian Downcast, the Guardian Hub, the best hub on the net, and if you're really lucky, maybe a Titan or a Hunter. It's hard to say. But seriously, if you're looking for some raids to get through and groups to find, that page will take you to our collaborative The 100.io group, where people are putting raids up to race through, and those guys do a ton of raiding. Respawn does a ton of raiding. Night Demon will give you the British explanation on why you're failing the raid so you can do it better next time. So I invite you to go check out, again, lfg.frozen.party. You can find all your favorite Guardians on Xbox Live, Respawn on PC, and all of us in the xCloud playing on our Android phones when it gets here.
Yo!
Watch it on YouTube, the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere. When you're on Spotify looking for the official soundtrack of Destiny 2, pull across us. We have better artwork. You'll have a better time.
That's how I end this.
And with that, friend, tell the good people goodbye and good luck.
Cheerio.
Deuces. Craig didn't leave. Craig is ignoring you. Craig is still here. Why is Craig here?
Craig has become sentient.
Oh no.